Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Death's Curios and to Encounter Roleplay. Good evening to all of you watching, and yes, we'll be getting right into our show very soon. We'll give you a recap of what happened last session. We'll introduce all of our wonderful players, and then we'll get right on into our game. But before that, I'm just going to show you a very quick message about our sponsors of this channel, and then we'll be getting right back to you. So I'll see you in about 40 seconds or so. See you soon, everybody.
Before we begin today's show, I would like to take some time to remind you about our sponsors. Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice. All of the beautiful maps and roles you see tonight are done using Fantasy Grounds, which you can try for free at fantasygrounds.com. You can also get all of your miniatures from Wayland Games. Go to waylandgames.co.uk and get yourself a huge range of D&D, Warhammer and 40k minis for up to 20% off regular retail price. And Tabletop Loot, who sell incredible dice. Go and check them out at tabletoploot.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So, welcome back to Death's Curious. We're going to go around and introduce all of our wonderful players and who they're playing today, in case this is your first time here, or in case you're back and you just want to hear the wonderful voices again saying who they're playing. So, we're going to start with the usual way and go with Verruckt. Verruckt, welcome back.
Well, Greybeard's Tavern, and today I'll be playing the on trial Dr. Verruckt, and I'm excited and scared. So let's see what happens.
Indeed. And moving down to Tilly Griffiths. Welcome back.
Hi, I'm Huddle 6. I'm playing Tilly Griffiths, the somewhat relieved detective after last session, but also confused and screams in romance. Not okay right now. But that's fine. London's burning politically, so we have to sort that out first before she sorts out the rest of her love life.
Of course. In a love life, somebody's love life who's not going so well. Magdalena DeVille.
Yeah. Probably gonna have to murder him. It's fine. It's, all is fair in love and war. So, yeah, I'm Lindy, and I'll be playing two characters today. I'll be playing Magdalena DeVille, also known as Magdalena Dracul, Dracula's daughter, who's having some second thoughts about some things in her life. She's thankfully gotten to be good friends with the doctor/psychiatrist, which is probably the only reason she's figured these things out, albeit in hindsight. But I'll also be playing Lilith, who is a con artist who I have to, subvert the law system and convince an entire jury that Verruckt is fine and innocent. It's just all misunderstanding, terrible accident, because that's how we do things here.
It is, indeed. And moving over to somebody who knows a bit more about what things we do here, Delilah. Somebody who's been in trouble with law before.
No, she's never been in trouble with the law before. It couldn't be back when she ran with the mob. It couldn't be back when they killed her husband, where they thought that she killed her husband. And it couldn't be back when she was harboring a refugee, aka Mickey, in her own house from the other gangs. No, never. So hi everyone. I am playing Delilah Berkley, the nobleman's wife who seems to keep getting trouble with her various gifts/curses and the Americanness that she tries so hard to hide, but English mannerisms just don't become her sometimes, no matter how hard she tries. She needs to learn from Tilly. But she does, however, have one very important thing to do, and she will get Tilly with a man or a woman, does not matter, by the end of this stream. Or just
Okay, no problem. And aside from you being shipping, somebody who does know about English manners, Miss Fairchild.
Hello, I'm Shakespeare, and I'll be playing Miss Fairchild, who's an older lady and a mourner, and is kind of quietly preparing to, kill one of her new friends because, a nice, pretty girl has to. But yes, so she's not looking forward to seeing Dr. Verruckt get off, but kind of, hoping that he doesn't hang. Yeah.
Let's hope he doesn't. However, to get back to what happened last session, as I adjust my camera dramatically. Last session, it was finally the morning of the day that Verruckt was to see his fate. He was to go and attend court for the trial of multiple murders, endangering the public, and much, much more. Delilah asked her husband to get them a lawyer, one of the best ones that he knows, and he did. He bought a decent one, who has been trying to get Verruckt off the hook. Lilith, seeing an opportunity, decided to infiltrate the jury and attempt to sway their opinion towards Verruckt's innocence rather than his guilt. And the rest of you have been attending the show after having a few of your own issues outside of it. And Tilly, you were sent to Mr. Grimoire's manor, went along with him, and found your aunt safe and sound. The coordinates that you've been given for so long was apparently to a nice cafe that he met you at on the date they said they would, and took you to find their safe. It seems, for now, they're safe and sound in the manor of Grimoire. You've returned to the court to see the fate of Dr. Verruckt, and the court has been going, for the most part, well. So far, the trial has been going your way. Your lawyer has had many good points. The others rebuff them with his own, but the jury seems to be slowly getting turned around. Just around half of them seems to be siding with Verruckt's innocence, and the other half seems to be very much against that. Well, this work seems to be working. However, at the end of last session, there was a document produced, and a mention of a certain name that Dr. Verruckt was asked to explain. A gentleman by the name of Adam. And it's at that time that the prosecutor still holds on to the papers and looks up at you, a slight glint in his eye as he sees you slightly off foot at the mention of the name, the documents that you see in front of you, as you're still stood on the stand to make your statement. The court waits with bated breath as they all look to Verruckt.
As I had said before, the crimes I am here for today do not include the war. They are long past 20 years now. The things that were done back then, many people who are still alive from that time will remember the chaos, will remember the pain, the things that they were forced to do to survive and to help others survive. I do not know why you bring up this young man.
We bring it up, Dr. Verruckt, on account of it being very much related to these crimes. We need to know the character of a man in order to properly sentence him. Do we not? You come here a mystery to most of these people aside from your acts in the park, the slaughter that you perpetrated by doing what you did. Men, women, children, many died in that day. All due to a stray bullet, so you'd have us believe. But this here, he says, and sort of holds the document up. This proves that you've been doing much more sinister things for a very long time, Doctor. Proves that you're a man of a disposition to do these things.
Out of character, what does the like it says? If I'm able to
in the file,
it.
he's just holding a dossier out, but you do recognize the binding of it as the Lovell Society.
Okay.
And it is definitely one of your files. You notice a telltale sticky note sticking out of it.
Yeah, all right. And let me confirm. Adam came back into us. He was the young man that I left the medical supplies for, and then he ended up being brought in on the table. Okay.
Yeah, he was one of your first attempts at reanimation.
Okay. I guess I will say I tried to give this man mercy. Sorry about that. I tried to give this man mercy, and then I tried to save him in a fashion that was experimental at the time.
And he thinks about experimental indeed it is. You were trying to... it doesn't say much about it here, much of it's redacted. But from what we gather, you were using the bodies of loyal soldiers and men and citizens of our metropolis and testing on them, illegally, mind you, to reanimate their corpses, much like the animals that we're plagued by these days. He said the corps begin to murmur, even the ones you've won over at this point, Lilith, begin to sort of look a bit uneasy at the concept. No one truly knows
Is it like
why
the
the
logo of the
done.
Level Society on the folder? Do I recognize it?
Yes, you recognize
I'm
it.
like, I don't know what it says, but I'm like, that's familiar.
And I guess he would say something akin to the procedures that we attempted were different than the animates that we were fighting. We were looking to
improve them.
I can't say some of this, but yes, we were looking to make better warriors to fight against the animates. The Level Society had pulled me from the line, had pulled me from my spot, and from there we worked to help all mankind.
He waits on that and lets it sink in. As you see, people are still very confused, and all this grandiose talk of mankind doesn't seem to be doing them too much good. And you do hear one of the grieving members of a family out there who lost one of theirs in the tragic accident on Halloween's day. They do shout out, "Was it for the greater of humanity when you killed them? When you shot that dome down and you killed my wife?"
And no, it was an accident. We were trying to apprehend the slaughter of children. We were trying to stop any more people from being emaciated and turned into dried husks. Noble children tried to be abducted and tortured. And that's what we were doing.
Is it not also
the
true
accident
that the count of kills based on your activity was much higher than that of this supposed serial killer?
The
At least
accident?
15.
The accident, yes. I did not maliciously steal children and keep them in an underground bunker, strapped in chairs and fed them nothing. I did not put explosives on the way. I did not booby trap the entryways to it that would try to murder individuals who were trying to stop this villain.
And is it not also true that you've had involvements in American gangs? Those tied with the anarchists? Those who created bombings that killed other noble families? That killed innocent people in the streets? All for their concept of freedom?
Ties with Americans?
Were you not
You mean-
visiting the bar of the American mob? We've had good information that places you there and pictures, Dr. Verruckt.
Sir, the attempts to save return, and he stops when he almost says cursed items, and he says, in our attempt to find the materials that were stolen from the Museum of Curios, yes, we were forced to go and deal with these villains and try to reclaim items that were stolen.
And can you give me a charm check, please?
My God, what is this lawyer doing? Why are they not objecting to these things?
and used for nefarious purposes. Charm. Oh yeah, that's
Got
me.
some rerolls, and you have a crit because we got it.
You do have a crit and rerolls.
All right.
Thank you,
well,
Hippie. You're the best.
yeah, why don't we just take Hippie's? Well, I'll roll first because I can choose the crit after, right?
Unless.
You need to declare it before you roll.
Oh.
You take the chance of rolling.
Yeah, I
Then you can do
will
that.
I'll use the crit.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay. So, with the crit used, then, Doctor, your words seem to be swaying people. It seems like they are at least starting to understand what you're saying. They seem to, at the very least, be somewhat feeling for you as they look around, and they seem to not have been swayed by the arguments of the prosecutor, despite their rather large claims. Your words and the evident guilt on your face and the way in which this questioning is going seems to have bitten them in the foot somewhat, as they look over to you and nod once more before going back and taking a seat. And at which point, your defense comes up. And he smiles at you for a moment before he turns back. It is true that our esteemed Dr. Verruckt did take part in the war. In fact, even as a non-citizen of our country, as a German, nonetheless, they fought in our war. They fought for our city, and they were instrumental in the reclamation of our land, of our grand metropolis. This man is old. He has done much in his past, as many of you will have done in the reclamation. For those of you who have even seen the event, it was not a time when everybody did everything by the book. It's not a time when everybody behaved in the way that we are used to in civilized society today. And, Doctor, what was your primary role in the reclamation?
I'm a surgeon. And,
A surgeon? But how many lives did you
scientist.
save?
Too many to reckon. I
Can't even place a number. That's how much they've done for our country and our people.
Just this week, 3, 4. Just this week, 4 or 5 people.
4 or 5 people this week alone, he says, as you see some of the...
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'll put you twice.
Count the pie. But yes, you have that, and
I thought I was muted.
thank
for
you
that.
very
Sorry.
much, Hippie, by the way. As you see they start to begin to get swayed. Lilith, you can hear a bit of chatter between them, though quietly. You may need to pull some more strings when they take a recess. But for now,
Yes.
good. And Dr. Verruckt, is it true that you work for the recent, just reclaimed and refound Lord Berkley? You are under his strict employ. You have served his family for years, since they've arrived, in fact.
I pause my conversation with the guy next to me and listen as I perk up.
Yes, I have had patronage from the Berkleys.
Then who better to speak on your behalf and to attest to your character than Lady Delilah Berkley? He says, and gestures to the stand. And and the judge kind of gestures for you to go and sit back down, Dr. Verruckt. Seems you've gotten through your grilling, at the very least. And we've also got big crits from Hippie, so I'm going to add those whilst we speak.
I'm gonna just... Thank you, Hippie. I needed this so bad. Yeah, she'll kind of glance over at her talking companion. I always forget his name because he's not relevant to me in my country, but you know,
Guy
burning
Fawkes.
guy.
Guy Fawkes.
Burning guy. Burning guy.
5th of November, dude.
I didn't know he existed until 5 years ago. Give me a break.
Oh my god.
Fair. I mean, honestly, same. Since it was like years.
Like,
I'm older.
unless you know a British person, like this guy
So
doesn't
away
exist.
from that, though, we're treading over that whole minefield.
We love the Queen.
Or bonfire, so to speak. Delilah,
Yes,
you're
she
called-
kind of blinks a bit, like her eyes still kind of gaze shiftly at bonfire guy before like, right, yes, reality. And she will, straighten up and walk quite daintily over to where she's been called over. And just kind of look around and just like, are they just telling her to just talk about him?
They're
or
telling you to
she's-
come up to the stand, and then they'll ask you some
Okay.
questions.
Alright, yeah, she'll go and take the stand.
And you
Yeah.
take the stand, and the lawyer kind of looks at you. Miss Delilah Berkley, Lady Delilah Berkley, what would you say of Dr. Verruckt's character and your time knowing him as your family's physician?
Well, he has always been a very calm, collected man. And he is very rational, really. He provides my family and I with excellent service, brilliant mind, and overall, a kind one too.
And you were there on the night of the event, the disaster that befell. Wonderful, wonderful, beloved guests at the Halloween ball.
Yes,
What's your
I took-
version of events?
I'm afraid I will not be much help, you see, as that day I was separated from my companions. I have a tendency to get quite lost quite easily, you see, and while there was that maze, when I was separated, Miss Fairchild was helping me, find her when I smelled something burning, and as I was trying to make haste away from, burning, the dome shattered, and I ran. It was a very disorienting time.
Very well. And out of your experience, do you believe of what Dr. Verruckt says about the events that occurred that evening? The shot was merely fired as a accidental thing. A chase that ensued which hit the ceiling, shattered the dome. Or do you believe it was some sort of malicious act like our position believe?
The only malicious act I saw that day was she kind of sways a little, that awful scene of the children. Oh, good. I'm so sorry. It's upsetting to remember.
Of course, of course.
That
Please.
was horrific. I honestly, after that, I could see why the doctor would make a mistake, an accident, in chasing the blue cat, as it were. What she did was... Those poor children.
And can you give me a very quick acting or charm roll, please?
I have really bad luck, if you see. I'm the type of person who rolled snake eyes 3 times in one session.
Oh no. Yeah.
Did we get like a thingy from Hippie that could possibly save
You
me from
crit-
having to roll?
yeah.
So
Yeah,
at
yeah.
current, most people have at least 2 crits.
Right. I'm going to take the crit from Hippie
You take the crit?
because
Okay.
thank God for Hippie,
Okay.
because I can't roll, and this is to save Dr. Verruckt, and if I can't roll with a good conscience with my terrible luck.
So we'll reduce that crit already.
I'm sorry. I can't.
I update PY, you use your crits.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding. No, you use your crit, and as you do, you speak, and most people seem to be quite swayed by the emotions you're feeling, by the loss that you felt. You, after all, could empathize. You also had a child at the event. You were in a very difficult situation. They could have been harmed in the event itself. And they all seem swayed by your words, charm, by the way that you sway in your seat, and are very dramatic with your sadness. And the prosecution don't even ask, as they seem to not have any questions for you, as it seems your act would put them on the back foot if they were to question you.
Fuck you. No, she's just daintily being the picture of sadness right now.
The judge sort of nods at you. You may take a seat. Thank you, Lady Berkley.
Yeah, she nods, dabbing at her eyes with her handkerchief, and then she'll sit down.
I can't hear dabbing anymore without thinking of dabs, and that was just a very different scene in my eyes. She walks up. It's the weirdest.
Yeah. And then she'll kind of like sit back down next to everyone, and after making sure her audience isn't still looking at her, like as soon as everyone's eyes are back away from her, she'll just like stop crying.
And immediately
She'll pull her, like,
put away the crocodile tears, and the trial continues for some time. And it seems it's beginning to go more towards Verruckt's innocence over his guilt by this point. It's about a 60-40 split, it seems, from your position, Lilith. And it's about that time that you take a recess. You are led into the back rooms. You are all given a small drink, and you're sat around a table. And it seems you have some time to discuss between yourselves. As for the rest of you in the court stands, you're left there for now. To sit, wait.
Lady Berkley? Tilly just sort of leans in. What were you doing before
Guy Fawkes leans in as well.
Oh, good God.
Yes. She kind of
What
glances to her
were you-
side, like,
yeah, that. What you're doing right now. What are you doing? You were talking to yourself beforehand.
She was not
Right.
talking to herself.
I'm fine. I was just. She kind of. Would you mind getting away from me, sir? It's quite rude. Yes, it was nothing really.
There's no one near you.
So I have a question, Tilly.
Yes.
What was your name again, sir? Something bonfire. Yes.
No, I
Public.
did not have anything of the sort of bonfire, no. Guy Fawkes is what they call
Yes.
him.
Yeah. She'll kind of like whisper. So what was Guy Fawkes in here for?
Oh, good God.
That is a rather interesting question. Well, he was
Just looks at
one of the
For getting
people.
caught.
Yes, they were going to blow up Parliament.
Yes.
Very bad.
Well, yes. we
Yeah.
know
I
you're
just I
doing that.
glance accusingly at him, like.
Do you know how you spoke somewhat of revolution?
Oh,
They
yes.
were in the same vein, but not, well, it didn't go well for them, and they were, yes. No. Why?
Oh, just curious. You know how Ned tells me fun stories, yes? Yes, he
Can we
sometimes
perhaps not talk about this very, very prolific revolutionary who was executed horribly in
Horribly.
a courtroom? Wait, I
Yeah,
can't
she
hear that.
kinda
Never mind.
Are
Yeah.
there still like quite a lot
just
of
looks
other
at him like,
There's not
Spooky
too many.
blob
Most people.
in the room?
Oh, the spooky
Okay.
blob. Yeah, there's
The
loads.
spooky blobs. Okay.
yeah.
People have gone to
Mhm.
stretch the legs a bit, but the ghosts, they don't really need to stretch their legs anymore. They're dead.
Oof,
So, you know.
getting the real actual grave chills right now. Ugh. No.
Maybe we could discuss your peculiar friendships elsewhere at another time when people can't hear us in public.
Yes.
Agreed.
And then she'll kind of nods, like, don't worry, Tilly, and gives her a little pat, then goes to glare at her, like over her shoulder. Very subtly.
She kind of looks just despite herself, like over her shoulder, like, huh. Okay.
You tried to blow up Parliament? I mean,
I had very good reasons in my mind.
Miss
This
Berkley,
flagstone right below me is actually a
Absolutely.
part of old Parliament. Unfortunately, when that moved, I moved. So I'm here. Much less grand than there, I must say.
Wait, how are you part of the flagstone? Are you just
Very
tied to-
complicated.
Miss
I think I'm
Berkley,
tied
you
to
are
this
not
bit
as
of
quiet as you think.
She's hiding like a little fan.
Like she sat next to us and she's like,
Yeah.
You're mostly alone at the minute.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just like, oh, it's nothing. I'm practicing lines for my musical.
Musical, yes. They wrote a song about me.
Yes, that's where you're from. I remember that.
Yes,
You know
yes.
what they
I've
say?
heard they
You can
burn
never
me every
remember
year.
words unless they put. Yes, that's what Ned says about you. Yes, that we burn a man
Yes.
on his. She's like, wow, you're quite famous.
Yes, infamous, I think, is the more proper word for that. But yes, Miss Lady Berkley, indeed I am rather famous. Just saying, if you do get the chance, if you can maybe shift this stone, I would be grateful. Been here for a long time. It's quite boring.
Oh, do you mean you want me to take you out of this place?
Yes, carry me with you.
I look down. How big is the stone?
It's like a tile.
Oh, so it's like can I hide it under my big poofy Victorian skirts is the question.
Probably, but if it falls, it will shatter. You'd also leave a just tileless spot on the floor.
I mean, that's okay. She thinks about it. She's like, I'll think about it.
Right.
Yes. And
What
then
are
she'll
you
lean
thinking
back.
about?
I do not want to know.
I kind of look around. Is there anyone who looks like a commoner who'd be into, like, I don't know, moving a tile? I can pay them to move
Have
a
you got
tile.
can you give me a check of rich?
I do have
You have etiquette. Give me an etiquette check.
etiquette.
Let's see
There we
who's the
go.
least good in
If
here.
either can do this for me.
You
Well,
look
he
around
said
and
it
see
might
which one's the
shatter.
lowest rung
Probably
of the
pay
ladder.
for the jury to do so.
15.
Okay, 15. You look around and you look for the poor in the room. You channel your inner aristocrat that you've been
I
honing
try to
for
look
these
the
years.
way that I've been learning. See, like I'm looking for people that look like how I looked, basically.
Yeah. You look for people who look like you looked, and you do see a few of them, mostly in the jury.
Damn it.
There's a couple sort of filtering out still, and there's a few others that sort of dotted around who have come to watch the proceedings, who sort of sit back and are dressed in less good clothing. Some of their threads are not perfect.
All right. And do any of them look like they're not too interested in this proceeding? Like they're just there because they're there because it's an interesting thing, not because my parents or relatives died.
Yeah. No, basically a couple of those people who look a little bit like that. It's sort of about. They seem to come and watch, see the entertainment, you know. Want to know if the doctor will
Okay.
hang.
Okay, that's fair. So it's just passing interest in someone's potential hanging. That's fine then. Right. So she's gonna try to catch the eye of one of them, like
You do easily.
try.
They look at you funny as you keep trying to catch their eye.
I give him a little smile from behind my fan and give him a little come hither wave. Just a very easy one.
You give him the come hither wave.
There is a come hither wave.
What are you
This
doing?
is the queen wave. There's this wave. And there's that.
And you see the gentleman sort of straightens himself out, just gets walking over, comes over in his suit. He's got
Is
some threads
now
on his
the
collar.
time,
Is it
Lady
good?
Berkley.
His cufflinks are made of just metal, normal metal, just iron. As he walks over and goes, "All right."
Yeah, she'll kind of smile at me. But don't worry, there's a perfectly good reason for this.
I'm sure you think there's a perfectly good reason for this.
Yeah, she'll just still quietly ask, well, hello there, my name is Delilah.
Hello there.
How do you do?
Well, I do well, quite well,
All right,
actually.
that's
Yeah,
great. And
Yeah,
what's your name?
I do all right. My name is Richard Common. Some people call me Rich, others call me Common.
What do you prefer, sir?
Rich,
Fair
usually.
I
enough.
think most
It's
would.
better, isn't it? People look at you better.
Generally.
Yes,
Richard's a
absolutely.
very
Hey,
noble
Richard.
name.
Richard, Rich.
It is indeed.
I like it. It's a good name.
Oh, Lordy.
It gives you an awkward smile.
Usually, at home we have a different nickname, but I like Rich. Right. It's
All right.
a pleasure to meet you. Could you do me a little favor? Of course, I would pay you for your time.
Well, how much are we speaking? Is it like quite a bit, or is it like just a couple quid? Well, that's actually quite a bit, really.
Yes. Yes. Well, how about £5 if you could help me?
Bloody
See
hell,
this little tile here?
whatever you want.
See this tile here?
£5, I'll
Do you
do.
like
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll eat your
do you
shoes for
mind?
£5.
Oh, that's really sweet of you, but I don't need that. So this tile here, she points at the tile, very quiet, very like. Can you
Oh yeah, the old looking
pick it
one.
up? Yes, I need you to pick it up, and
Right.
After you're done, I would like you to meet me on the outside of this courthouse, and after everything's done, and give it to me.
Miss
Then I won't see
Berkley.
if the doctor hangs. I mean,
This
I'm
is a-
pretty invested by now.
Institution of the law. You cannot just steal a part of it. The irony is painful.
Let's
Jesus.
replace it.
Is it not attached to the floor?
I
No,
know,
it's
it's a
not.
bit loose, isn't it? I can't hear you. What'd you say, Rich? You
I
seem
said I
quite
got a
quiet.
crowbar.
Oh my
Oh, good
goodness.
lord.
I'm going for
That
a
is not
walk.
subtle.
I'm going for a good bloody walk.
May I join you? I don't
Yes,
wish to
please.
a bet. I am going to follow while avoiding stepping on any of the slobs.
Yeah,
I don't want to
you-
step
you-
on anyone's
You don't
really-
want to step on that one. Ooh.
I'm stepping around them. I can see them.
Yeah.
Well, like a
And
blob.
you make your
Oh.
way out, and you go for some air. As meanwhile, you make your shady deal with Rich. Could you give me a charm check, please?
You've got another
Sure.
crit to use.
Can't believe
How
you
bad
only give
do you
him
want with
£5
Blackstone?
for this.
How much do I want this flagstone?
£5
yeah, that's
is a
true.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
£5 is a lot.
Like in
Take
these
it away.
days, £5, you're basically giving him a small fortune. He's just like, yeah, I can pay my rent.
Lilith is so loaded then. Wow.
Oh yeah,
18.
wow.
The
on
power of my
18.
money speaks.
Your money speaks, and
And it says,
he kind of
steal
looks
the
at you and goes,
flagstone.
"Yeah, all right, all right, yeah, I'll do it. Go on then. I'll meet you. Where do you want to meet? I'll have to get it at the end, though.
She nods. What's a good place for her not to be seen carrying, I don't know, a flagstone?
Not the city.
Like the back?
I
She's
can't
like,
give you
"Hey,
that
Julie."
answer, unfortunately.
Of course.
This
Yeah,
is
she
your
kind of
decision.
thinks about it, and it's like, I didn't think this.
You're not in the prolific business of stealing tiling from random places.
That is true. She is not. She'll think about it and is like, how about?
Oh, a great box for stolen
How about
goods. today.
someone
You do.
near the back of the courthouse?
Yeah, we'll never guess it there. All right, yeah, sure. We'll get that sorted for you.
It's not official. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. He nods and sort of toddles on.
I'll kind of
you see him
glance
sort of
over.
walk to the side somewhere. He talks to a couple of the others who look a bit sort of like they're similar, and they sort of nod and then go and cause a hassle over in the other corner. They get dealt with very quickly. The guards here almost immediately take them down, but it's just
Give
enough
you a
time.
quid to cause a ruckus.
Basically, yeah, and they cause a
Yes.
ruckus, but it's just enough time and draws enough eyes that Rich, on his very good roll, manages to slip it up, grab the big stone of a tile, and just sort of waddles out, sprinting out the doorway with it in hand. And you see Guy Fawkes floating along with the stone, almost pulled by an invisible force. As he just
Before,
goes, "Thank
as like,
you."
yeah, as he's like leaving, it's like you owe me so many stories. But she'll go back and like sit quite happy. She's like, if I could do this quite well, I think Ned would be happy to have all the stories. Yay!
You can put your flagstone with haunted by Guy Fawkes next to your mirror owned by Elizabeth Bathory.
I mean, she's collecting cool old like historical relics. Her husband is like a geek for history. She'll just ask
And
the ghost
you've
of
done your
fucking
shady deal. The
questions.
floor, you've sort of got a little hole around where you are now. But aside
She's
from
kind
that,
of like
in
she
the jury
sits like
room, Lilith,
Yes.
there seems to be some discussion inside. They're having some trouble deciding, but it's more swaying towards Verruckt's innocence. A few of the others, however, are stating that
What
he
seems
did
to be
was
the main point of contention?
the fact that he still caused the death of many important people.
Okay.
That's sort of the thing
So-
that's mainly getting them. They're like, yes, he did do that, but he still caused the death of those people and should serve his time for
So
it.
they're not hung up on his past?
No.
With the level society. Okay, good.
No,
Had a
with
thing
his
for
crit
that.
20, followed by Delilah's crit 20, it seems the past thing was mostly forgotten.
Excellent. So she'll straighten up, kind of like she'll be quiet, she'll have like a cigarette, kind of just in the break room. I'm sure there's probably a couple other people doing so.
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
there is. There's other people smoking.
So she'll just observe for a minute to see who's causing the most dissent.
There seems to be a rather sort of older-looking gentleman, swept back, grey hair, sort of a very thick moustache, who seems to be what looks like an old constable, retired by now, and he's sort of
Wedding
sat
ring?
in his wedding ring.
Okay.
As he sits back, and he's sort of just like,
things.
you see, I believe whatever happened, he still did the crime, and he still needs to pay the time for it. If he gets off free, then what will stop the next person doing this and causing so much havoc, only to pay to pity and get off with it?
Well, I don't think it's pity so much as, look, it seems to be a bit of an accident. Things happen all the time. I mean, bloody hell, do you hear about all the stuff that goes down in Lower London?
Yes,
People die
I've
accidentally
heard
all
of
the
it.
time.
Yes.
And they're not even trying to stop murderers, are they? They're just buying bread and stuff.
And you see some of them kind of hobble around. Can you give me a very quick charm check?
Yes, I can. Oh, of course I can. Let me just double check that charm. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Oops, give me my d10s. 23.
23. Okay, most of them seem to be getting swayed by your argument. It is true, people do die getting bread in Lower London.
All the time. I mean, it's honestly, I'm surprised there hasn't been an accident like this in Upper London with all the fancy parties that they throw and stuff, you just see all sorts of hazards laying around. I mean, who even got a building a glass ceiling?
This sort of like elderly lady who's trying to speak keeps on getting cut off by your rant, and she's like, I think the problem is that it's usually people down there. Nobody cares about them so much, whereas up here they do.
Well, they're people too. I mean,
Yes,
honestly.
but lesser, and it's the way of things. The point is, these are important people who we have lost. People who do things.
It's true. People do things. Everyone does things. I mean, honestly. But whose idea was it to put a glass ceiling over someplace? I mean, what if we got hail?
It was fine for hail. The force of a bullet is different.
Okay, all right.
Guns are banned in the city. They're illegal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that didn't stop a murderer from kidnapping a bunch of kids now, did it? Who was hunting the blue cat?
And they sort of think, can you give me another charm check, please?
Of course. Because that was one thing. No one was looking out for the blue cat. Like, who was going to stop that? 19.
Very nice. Still very good, as they begin to still get swayed by you even more. And the old constable...
I mean, if he wasn't going to get him, who was? I didn't see the police working on it.
Well, the police would have been working on it, I'm sure. They've been looking for
my
people like that all
sister's
the time.
cousin's nephew's daughter was one of the victims of the blue cat.
And they all sort of look at you with pity in their eyes.
Until this time.
Aside
He's
from
right, fine.
the constable, who seems to
Mhm.
be suspicious of you, if anything.
Yeah.
And what do you have to get from swaying the opinion towards the doctor? I mean, we were here just discussing the actual matter here. You're just
Justice! It's not right
talking
to
about
hang
bread
a man
and
for an
lowering on
accident. It's not decent,
Even
is
if-
it? If I sneezed on someone and they got a cold and died, would that be my fault? No, it would be an accident.
That depends. We're not entirely clear if the sneeze, as you say, was
Yeah.
weaponized. If they aimed it there in the angle they did to specifically shatter it. And there is the matter of them carrying a gun, an illegal firearm, which is the cause of all
He
of
is
it.
German, isn't he? I mean, you didn't know about that law.
I'm pretty sure he knew about the law. He says.
Did he though? Did he though?
I don't know,
German
did he though?
reclusive doctor.
Could you give me
He
another
may not
quick?
Entirely proficient.
Another
Of course.
charm, please.
Yes. Another 19.
Okay. And they begin to sort of, he is German. Yes, he might not know our laws properly. It wasn't the war. Maybe he took a hit to the head and then he just forgot the laws.
It's entirely possible. Mine.
And
Keep
you
the
do
old
hear
idea
them
with
sort of rubber about sort of Chang.
surgery.
And you seem to be in good sway, but the constable still looks at you, the ex-constable, just sort of narrowing his eyes slightly.
You're not right. She'll offer him
No.
a cigarette.
I don't
What?
smoke anymore.
It's good for your lungs.
And at that point, we will cut back to the court. Miss Fairchild, you've had a lovely break. You've had some not fresh air. And you've had a moment away. You do see the gentleman run
No.
away with a flagstone out the front door.
I saw nothing. No, I didn't. I did not see
Did I
that.
see the blob following it?
You did see the blob just kind of like...
Oh, good. Right, that explains that then. Right. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want to. I do want to know, but I don't want to know. No. No. I'm having a nice time. Why did my cousin
Really?
pay a man just to steal a flagstone? Really? Really?
If it helps at all, and I don't think it will, I don't believe
Right.
she paid a man to steal a flagstone. I believe she paid a man to steal a dead man.
Excuse me? What? That kind of thing is highly illegal.
Not
Dead.
a corpse.
Right.
And she kind of makes a vague, spooky motion with her hand because she's not going to say
Just a hand?
ghost out loud.
Just the
Ugh.
just the fingers.
Just
Are we talking more the ethereal here?
It's not grave robbing, sir. It's just an hand.
Oh, Lord.
I'm not really qualified to speak on the spiritual. My work tends to
Right.
end before that.
She's
becomes
losing her
necessary.
mind, is she? I know she's been through a lot. We all have, but she's not
If
like
she's-
actually losing it, is she?
If she's losing her mind, then I lost mine several years ago when I had this put in. No.
You do seem quite sane most of the time. So I shall take her word for it that she is not going insane, but she has to stop talking to things out of nowhere. She was doing it the other day
Especially
when we
when
were
other
walking
people
around
can hear.
Savannah. It makes
Wait.
weird.
The Marriott Manor.
Yes. She was rather disturbed. I was going to come and see you actually before bed. I was just wanting to check on the children and make sure you were all right, but she had a bit of an episode of mania. It was rather strange. And we went back. And then she started asking me these rather strange questions that I should go and ask Lord Marriott about what happened in his hallway. And I didn't really fancy that. So, yes.
Yes, I've always found it best not to ask questions about certain things. I don't think Lady Berkley has the same feeling.
Yes.
I tend
It
to
was
just
rather
ignore
strange.
them.
She started lecturing me about tact. and then started asking me to pry into the personal life of a friend. Very strange. Mixed opinions. Don't really know what to do. Instructions are unclear. Shall we go back
She's
in?
American and
There we go.
aristocracy.
Right, got it. Excellent.
Aristocracy. Aristocracy, there we go.
Aristocracy.
That is exactly what it is.
Mhm.
One
She's
fat
rich
cat. they
and
would
foreign. It's not good. Oh no. Yes, if I imagine if that come out, we can probably rejoin without aiding and abetting anything.
I'm not aiding. We are not. Nope. Not today. Nope. Bloody Flagstone, really. And she'll just head on back in.
Okay, and you head back in, and you see people are beginning to funnel back in by now. Doctor, you've been left in your cell. You're pulled back out as you make your way towards the court once again. However, as you are, you're stopped in the hallway. And you see around the hall comes two sort of white-armored Deathwatch soldiers with the symbol of the Law Society on their chest. And you see in between them, just stood a few steps behind them, a gentleman in a very nice black suit, sort of quite very nicely trimmed moustache and goatee combo, and with very nicely trimmed, freshly cut hair and a nice hat as he walks in and gives you a nod, his cane clicking on each step that he makes. And you guards stop and look a bit confused for a moment, seeing the strange garbed Deathwatch, before you see the gentleman sort of wave at them, and the Deathwatch, one of them goes over and says a few things. And it seems that they step away, your guards, that is. They leave you in the hall with the two Deathwatch members in the white armor and your old friend, Mr. Lovell. He looks at you and smiles, politely. Old friend, it has been a while, hasn't it?
Indeed, it has.
I wanted to speak to you just in case things don't quite go your way today. You've got a few minutes, haven't you? Pretty sure you do.
Apparently you have arranged this, so yes.
Yes. He nods. Indeed I have. Let's take a seat in your cell, I guess.
And I sit back down.
And you do so. And he walks with you till you make your way towards the very small cell. And Nicholas sits across from you as he takes a seat on one of the chairs and looks over to you at the other side of the room. His Deathwatch soldiers stood just outside. So, we, I think, need to have a discussion. You've been in this city for so long, you've been doing your business, you've trod on our toes quite a few times, old friend.
And he smiles at that, but refrains.
You see, things are going quite well for you in there, and that's great, and you'll be out in no time, no doubt, with all of the heartfelt speeches you'll be giving, which is very quaint coming from yourself, Doctor. See, I've heard a few things. I've heard you are starting up your experiments again. I've heard you were in the possession of a certain item, one that would allow you to try and create new life from old or nothing.
And
You're looking into Promethean man again, aren't you?
And he just gives him blank slate.
Well, your research, I must say, Dr. Verruckt, has come in very handy. We've continued your work. I've continued our work. We've had some very interesting results. We've had at least 3 work so far. 1, a gentleman, a dock worker, in a fatal accident. We brought them back. We gave their brain a new vessel. We didn't give it many features. It seemed to lose itself when it's itself, not as human, but as something else. It didn't last long. Our second, of course, was your first. The one that worked, despite your throwing away of them. Adam, as you called them.
And the doctor's physically holding back tears at that point.
You see, Doctor, you didn't quite have it work, no. Indeed, the body was dormant, indeed. The brain was not functioning in the way it should. The body you had brought back and preserved was not entirely working. Yet, when you took it apart, when you threw it away, it was still alive, Doctor.
And
it worked. Your experiments worked brilliantly. And so we put it back together, and we've brought it home to you, Dr. Verruckt. Perhaps we'll send them over in a night from now, perhaps 2. Maybe you'll see them in the streets. But they'll find you. They wish to make their creator.
You're very much the monster that you have created.
It's very cute. Have you been reading literature again of a different sort? Fantastical, perhaps. Where the villains lose after the hero makes some sort of bold statement like that. Only that's not this. No, it doesn't look like you're going to hang today. But you're living a borrowed time, Dr. Verruckt, unless there's another path.
And he straightens.
Your resources, even with that very nice and very well acted lady, are limited. Yes, they have money. Yes, they have significant resource, but they don't have what you need. They don't have your experiments. They don't have your papers. They don't have your own equipment. They don't have the things that we've perfected. You know, until yesterday, I was very much annoyed at everything that you had done, the betrayals, the burning of things that we had spent so much time and money on, the random moment of strange emotional compulsions that led you to run away and hide yourself away from your work, Dr. Verruckt. Reinvent yourself as Dr. Verruckt. But please, we all know the work greater than anything that you could do here, than any one person. Are you really content to be here in mediocrity, treating people for wounds they caused themselves? Or do you want to do something larger than that, Doctor?
Shall we talk about your third success? He did say
a
free.
Smile
right?
slowly comes to his face as you ask that. We could. Sadly, it has gone missing, but I assure you it'll be easy to find. We don't do these things without ways to find them. Have you heard of the Dr. Nikolai Tesla?
Yes.
Well, it seems he got the wrong end of an argument with an American man. Something about stealing inventions. But the point is, they didn't want them to keep speaking about them, but they wanted their knowledge. So they had him, as the Americans say, whacked. We preserved his head, brought it back to good old Blighty, and we conducted our next project. The brain, of course, was here in London and had to be transported to York. Apparently it worked before York, unfortunately, has fallen. But here, that Promethean is in this very city, hence our extended use of our Death Watch. Think about it, Verruckt. Your research could bring back the greatest minds of our historical annals. It could bring back people who were not yet at their prime. It could keep people alive, the greats, the greatest minds. We could excel as a society, but only if your research continues. I can do it alone, but it's rather better with 2 pairs of hands.
And supposing I make it through the day, how do I contact you? To call off your second dog.
A letter. Pass it to one of my people, one of those, he says and gestures to the white armored Death Watch. They'll get it to me. Time is ticking. Though I'd rather it be longer. I don't actually want you to die, but I'm assuming you'll make the right decision. Brilliant. Well then, old friend, you keep yourself well and have a good rest of your trial. I'll speak to you very soon. He pats you on the shoulder and then turns. By the way, interesting arm situation you've got going on there.
And he rotates his hand oddly.
It's very interesting. Fascinating. Anyway, I must make my way away. I have much business to attend to. Very busy day, it seems. Good day, he says and turns and leaves, as the Death Watch walk with him, silently as they do.
And the doctor gets up and walks to the edge of the cell and just waits for the other 2 to come back.
The other 2 come back immediately. And the rest of you have been waiting in the courtroom. It's been a while. Verruckt was meant to show up, but hasn't yet in about 5 minutes, but then arrives. And
I'm just
Lilith,
gossiping with one of the people.
you're gossiping as you make your way in. What gossip are you spreading?
She's spreading, because they haven't mentioned the level society stuff. So she's trying to get people thinking about the poor lower city of London right now. All those, how much the city was decimated, how many people must have died in that. So
Give me another goddamn charm check, please, Lilith.
of course, I'd be happy to. 19.
Another 19, and on another 19, they're like, oh, I would take it, as they seem to be very much on your side.
Smoke hasn't even stopped in how long? It's been like a full day.
And you continue to spread your rumors as court begins again. And Lady Berkley.
Allie Bywater does her good work.
Allie Bywater. Lady Berkley, you're approached by a steward who comes in and looks below and sees the tile missing and simply goes, I apologize. It happens from time to time. People steal the tiles. We've got a spare, he says, and sort of pulls out a spare tile and just places it and just kind of hammers it back home gently.
Yes, thank you.
We've got a smooth tile again.
Lovely. She says she has like her I'm so glad I didn't have to speak to your manager look. And as he does, she
God
just
damn
like
it.
smiles like a mischievous child.
And you make your way. You have your tile, and Verruckt, you're brought back. So, it seems our jury have spoken their part, but let us hear it from them themselves. You're pretty serious. Could I Miss Aliba please come and tell us the opinion of the jury? He says, and the judge looks very exasperated with having to say that sentence.
Ali Bywater, yes.
Ali
yes.
Bywater.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Excuse me. Pardon me. Scoots out from a chair. Walks up to the front. Just very, very much acting as she should be. She goes, all right, yes. So the jury has convened, and we have determined that poor Dr. Verruckt, what's his German? I can't say it, has been a victim of a series of unfortunate circumstances and accidents, and is therefore innocent today.
Very well. Thank you, Miss Ali Bywater.
Thank you. May justice reign.
Justice reign, says the judge. Very well. And they seem to confer with a few people before making their judgment. Dr. Verruckt. The jury and myself have found you not guilty. You will not hang this day. However, you will be expected to atone for the deaths that you had caused through your accident. You are to help design a new system, a new dome, so to speak, that will support themselves much better, so that a disaster like this can be avoided the next time. You will be a consultant. Very good. And there will be a plaque instated outside to honor the dead. You will engrave each of their names. Is this acceptable?
Very acceptable. Yes. Thank
Good.
you.
He slams his gavel down. Court adjourned. And you see a lot of people start to sort of tired make their way out. And it seems Verruckt has gotten off the hook. And Verruckt, you're uncuffed and you're let to your friends.
I will try to make sure, like, are there any, like, other, like, really big high society people looking at him right now?
There's a few of them who had their people, you know, their family members hurt in the disaster. They look annoyed. Some of them are dabbing their eyes gently as they sort of make their way out.
If that is the case, then I'll just go for polite handshake, my unrestrained, friendly American hug. But handshake.
Okay.
Yes. I'm glad you're, well, a free man-ish, Doctor. Sort of. Are you good at plaque engraving, by any chance?
I will use electrostasis. It'll be fine.
Electra. Yes, that. She smiles very, like, extra wide, extra bright. Like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes. And we'll kind of look over. It's like, oh, I wonder if Miss Tilly and Miss Fairchild's back from their walk.
They're right
I
here.
gotta
Miss
look
Bear.
at
They're
them.
there.
I'm back
Report.
next to you.
We've just
Oh,
been
right, yes.
ignoring you a little, that's all. She says as she hands over Dr. Verruckt's bag.
It's a good
And-
idea. Speaking of annoying,
your gang leave.
they scatter to the wind, just like.
The constable kind of looks at you, stares at you pointedly for a moment. There's something about you. Can't put my finger on it.
I'll get that a lot, but let me tell you, I am betrothed, sir. So you should not make any moves.
Would never. I'm a married man.
Yeah, you said there was something about rude, and she huffs off, pretending like that's what it was. There's something about you. She's like, yeah, I get that a lot, but so
And you run away
off.
as he watches you go. But then he stands up and sort of makes his way away. He's not able to place in his mind why he knows you.
Yep, and then she'll just do a brief congratulations, Dr. Verruckt. May you build a better dome. And as she passes by to go get back into her regular attire.
Yeah, you all see this strange lady
Little
approach.
nod.
Guessing we don't recognize her at all.
Yeah, very quick.
Do we
Forensic
know
science, wit perception, whatever you
wit
like.
perception, acting?
Yeah.
I am a
recognize,
master
like,
of disguise.
my
Not
own
acting effect, this is you're not
24.
acting. Okay, you can tell.
Disguise?
It's brilliant.
Ah.
though.
Wit.
Very good. Alley Bywater is a foolproof disguise, it seems. Perfectly looks different from Lilith. As for you on a 16 Greybeard, you have no idea who this person is.
What about me on a 20?
On a 20, you see through it.
Thank God.
Again,
Yes,
brilliant
I
disguise.
raise
If you
an
didn't
eyebrow,
know it was
like-
Lilith and that they were here, then you'd struggle.
Miss
I'm
Fairchild doesn't
impressed.
even look just kind of like
Yeah.
light wave.
Yes, I'm glad the law was followed to the letter once again and justice reigns over the day, she says, looking up and down over this alley by water, turning away and leaving.
I, for one, am grateful. It's a pleasure, miss. Go.
As indeed, Miss Lady Berkley. Awkward
Yeah, and
curtsy.
she'll kind of lean in. I'm just gonna like whisper. I think silver suits you better, Lilith. But this looks nice too. And I'll lean back.
Well, of course, miss. Whatever you need, and whatever you say. And she goes off. I almost said need.
Okay.
I read the word need.
Woo!
And then she'll go off, and then change into Lilith, back up the stuff to get ready to meet them outside of the courthouse.
Yeah. And Tilly, you see Lilith sort of walk across the road somewhere and take a turn into an alley, then walk back out as Lilith quite quickly afterwards.
About that, are we going in kind of a similar direction? Because I'm going to meet the
Out the
guy in
front
the
door.
back of the car. Yeah. Okay, so
As you all
that's where
kind of
my.
congregate and meet at the front.
Okay, so do I get my tile?
They're working on it. They'll be behind the course itself. You've all
Yeah,
met at the
as,
front currently.
Yeah, as Lilith comes back, I'll look at
Hello.
Lilith and be like,
How did the
"Is there
trial
something-"
go?
Oh, great, Lilith. Do you mind doing me a favor?
Of course. What do you need?
There's a gentleman by the name of Rich. He's in the back of the courthouse, and I need you to help me get something. I am unfortunately not very.
Of
good
course. I'm very well versed in this type of thing. Don't worry.
Could you give me a
My
streetwise check, please?
discretion is is very good. Streetwise. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm so good at that. Hell yeah.
Rich Common.
17. Do I know Rich?
You know Rich.
I'm like, oh yes,
Richard
Rich.
Common, infamous tile thief. Once stolen an entire kitchen installation from under somebody's nose. He's very good at
Oh,
what he
you're doing.
does.
Oh, you must be doing renovations. Of course, certainly. And she'll.
Yeah, and then I'll give her a $5 banknote. That's for him, and of course this is for you. She gives her another 2 banknotes just for your time.
All right, thank you. She's not going to complain.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's
We'll
going to
take it.
complain when you're given a lot of money out of nowhere.
Yeah. And she'll go meet up with Rich. Behind
So you
the-
go behind and you see him. He's stood. He's sort of rubbing his hands. He's waiting by what looks to be a box, small box.
Mhm.
He looks over. Is that Lilith?
Yes, it is. It is Rich.
Oh, I don't think
His
I've seen you
Lilith.
alive.
Because I went to York.
Yeah, I basically thought you were dead the moment you left the city.
Yes, a lot of people thought that. I'm
Are
going
you
to
not?
surprise quite
you?
a few people. No, I'm not dead.
All right, good. Yeah,
Got
just
close a
checking.
couple times, but no.
Well, it's a shame to hear about the couple
Yes.
times thing. Not that you're alive. That's great.
It's fine. Yes.
I'm
yes,
sure.
I
I'm
endured.
sure. Robbie will be happy. Whatever he's up to.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure he's fine.
Well, I mean, last time I heard, he was caught and then he was being all beat up and stuff. And then after that,
Yes.
he was, well, I don't know. I mean, Lower London seems to have bloody blown
Do you
up.
know?
I think at least two of my pals'
Americans.
safe houses have gone.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry to hear that. I hope mine are all right.
Was that had some Georgian tiles?
Oh,
I
those
stole
are
a few
expensive.
from the old train station. Some good tiles, that was.
So you're the one who's taking her out from the old train station.
Well, yeah. Why? I've been nicking them for about 5 years. One by one.
Explains the most past 12 months.
Yeah, I'm tiling them in an entire
I've been
apartment.
spending a good
I'm gonna
amount
call
of
it the
time.
platform.
Oh, yes. Excellent. But maybe just don't steal any more tiles from the old train station. At least not the back area.
All right, but then how can I
That's
make
my-
the
that's
platform
my-
work? It don't work unless it's got rail station tiles. It's called the platform.
Just take them from
it's
the
not
front.
called the platform and partly a
Just take
kitchen.
Rich, just take them from the front. Don't take. Look, I have an apartment in the back section where the old ticket booth
right.
used to be. Yes, just don't.
Yeah, I'll
take it
stay away
there.
from there then, unless
All
I
right,
need
thank
them.
you.
But then you understand it's
We'll work something out. All right,
all
here.
right. That's what I like to hear, Lilith.
I hold out the £5 note. The tile, please.
Thank you. He puts it in his pocket and then hands you the gift box. It's very heavy. I even
Yep,
put a bow
that's
on
the
it like
tile.
out of it being a noble. Don't get much of them telling me to steal tiles from.
No, it's quite a rare treat. I shall let you
Yeah.
know what she does with it.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I know you like
On
the follow
some
through.
sort of installation.
So, yes. I'll be sure to update you, Rich. Now go. Have a good day. And try not to get caught. Back at the
Yeah,
courthouse,
will do.
maybe?
Will do. I think I'll pop by the train
Hard
station.
times. Especially since you
Later.
can't go to Lower London currently. Yes.
Oh,
All
well,
right.
we could do that, the way, but I mean, it's just different, isn't it? He says
I
as
had
he
this
walks
death
up.
watch. I had that. Rich. Excuse me. Pardon me. Oh, damn it.
He
There's a
vanishes.
death watch there. It's okay. I have a death watch. It's fine. And I'll have the box underneath my arm, just looking very nonchalant.
And it's as you've gone around the back and you're doing this that Tilly, Miss Fairchild, Verruckt, Magdalena at the front. Could you all give me a very quick wit check, please? Magdalena, you don't exist. Delilah,
Perception?
not right in this scene anyway. You do exist. And yes, perception. Very nice.
Oh, that's a good one. Good job, Tilly.
Yeah, so on your 17, you get this. In the distance, you can see sort of a very large Death Watch member sort of bumbling about a bit, dodging carts and people, and just kind of walking through the city. They're passed by multiple other members of the Death Watch who sort of salute to them and move by. And they do the same, and they continue to look around at different street signs, trying to figure out where the court is.
Go up to him.
You go
Excuse me,
over.
sir. I think your duties are over
Oh.
here.
Right. I was looking for you. Oh,
Yes.
it's been a whole time. I've been walking a long time. Took a few wrong turns.
Did your patrol go well?
Yeah. It
Good.
went quite well. I was quite calm, really.
Yes, I don't think much trouble comes when one sees you. So, come.
Oh, thanks. He says and he walks with you.
You're
He
welcome.
gives you some shade as he walks alongside you, the massive Death Watch member.
Right.
Well, I mean, so how's it gone on your side? Has it gone well? Only, Wait, the
Do
doctor's
you want
alive.
my honest opinion or the polite
Yeah,
one?
always. I like honesty. That's what I live for.
They made a mockery of the justice system yet again. However, the
that's not
doctor
good.
is free. So,
That's good.
Yippee, I guess. Not like there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, you were wanting him to hang.
No, I didn't want him to hang, sir.
Oh, okay.
I
You didn't
wanted
want
him
him
to
to
have
hang.
a fair trial and one without bias or outside intervention.
Well, how about, and this is just an idea, but now he's free, we could get like a really big, like a big cake or something. And we
Right, do
can
you
go
want to have a
somewhere.
party? Yes.
No, a trial. And we can have our own trial. And you can find him guilty, and then we'll all eat cake and he won't. Especially me.
Yes.
If you want
Yes.
cake, I'm sure you can... Actually, if you want cake, she hands him a cupcake.
Thank you. I can't eat this
Very
right
well.
now because I've got a full helmet, but I will later. He says
know
and
you
just
will.
keeps holding it.
Sure you
It's
will.
just like, but no, I was saying if you want to have cake and justice, we could do that.
I appreciate
could
the
go-
sentiment, my dear brick wall, but
Oh, thank you.
it's not quite the same.
Oh, we could go beat up some criminals.
Well, I am going to hunt down someone tonight, so
Oh,
there is that. You're welcome to
Well.
join.
if you want me to join, I'll be your brick wall.
I would love you to be my brick wall, sir.
Thank you. I'm good at that. And being a
Yes.
monolith, obelisk. That's the one. I like that one.
Yes, you are quite the obelisk, and I'm hoping you can
Thank
protect me from...
He sort of seems very happy with the compliment again.
What do you know about dampiers? And vampires?
I
Much
don't know
on-
much about the first. I know a lot about the second.
You do? Really? Well,
Yeah.
a dampier is a half human, half vampire.
It's like half as dangerous.
No, they rather
Oh.
blend in better because they can eat human food, they can go out in the sunlight, from what I've seen, but I don't know that much about vampires. And
So
I'm
they're just
sure
like
they're the same
moody.
things.
Cute.
Thinks
The
back to his time on the
A rather increased hunger for human blood, and
Yeah,
yes,
he thinks back to just seeing the vampire hunter that you
Alucard.
saw coming with you, Alucard brooding off the side of the boat, at times being a very dramatic gentlemen that they are. And he's like, oh yeah, they are dramatic.
you know of one. You've met them.
Yeah, I know the best one.
There's a best for these things.
Oh yeah. I usually
And-
find them,
Right.
but I found the best detective. It's you.
That's very sweet of you, thank you. You're very
And
good
Lilith's
at
the best. Lilith, and yeah,
She's rather unique, yes.
yeah.
What was your experience with the dampier you met?
Oh, they were good, mostly.
Mostly.
Yeah, they like fought for good, and they like said to Lilith, "Don't read that book." She did, and then
What
they were
book?
also like, "Oh, it's like a book; it reads to you." And then they were like, "Oh, look, I'm gonna fight all these zombies and help these humans." It didn't work very well, but they did very good. There was just a lot of them, like a lot.
I'm supposing you're talking about York.
Yeah, York's not like a place anymore.
Right.
It's kind of horrible, really.
Yes.
I had to
it's
shoot a
been-
big gun, and it was like, "Wow, it's really cool."
Is that by the one you brought off the ship? That we
Oh
had to-
no, not that one. I left that one on the ship. It's way too big to carry around without people looking at me funny.
You already brought a rather large gun off the ship, sir. I am quite astounded
Little
there is one
George.
here. Little George?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's a friendly gun.
Sir, I don't think there's such thing as a friendly gun. They are
Well, it
too...
is. I go for the kneecaps with Little George, and it blows off the leg.
That's not very friendly.
What is for a gun? He says as you make your way back over to the rest.
Right, yes, of course, for a gun.
I've got
Yes.
your tile.
I did not hear
Here's my
that.
package.
Oh yes, I have a package for you. It's a gift.
Better.
Here's a gift, Lady Berkley.
Oh, thank you very much. I had Much obliged.
I'm very curious to what home renovation you're doing. But
You kind of think of it as a study on history. I think Ned would be
Oh.
pleased to have a biography. She kind of takes it
Right.
looking very happy.
Excellent. Francis!
Lilith! He says and sort of walks over after a moment of just staring at something. He turns and looks at you as if he's come back to the world finally, and then he comes towards you and sort of looks over. I'll be right back with you, best detective. He says as he goes over towards you.
You know, I can't help
How
but
did your
like
patrol go?
I went well
If it works,
around.
Francis.
A couple people tried to, like, I don't know, steal stuff from me. I don't have stuff, so they didn't manage. And then,
Very true.
yeah, and I got here.
How did
I
the
got
other
lost
Death Watch?
about 7 times.
Oh dear. I have to make you a
Big,
map.
this place, isn't it?
It's very
Much bigger
large,
than York.
yes. It's like 8 times the size of, or maybe 20 times? I'm not sure. That's a lot of math and numbers.
That's a lot of York.
If you are needing a map,
Holding the
sir,
cupcake?
there's one here.
Oh, I don't use maps.
Is he still holding the cupcake?
I always arrive when I need to be on time. And he is, just in his hand.
Right.
And again, you
How
see
did
a few very heavily armoured, very vicious-looking Death Watch sort of across and just kind of salute at him.
Oh,
And
I
he
take
kind
it
of does
they
the same
welcomed
back.
you with open arms then.
Yeah, they keep calling me something like Commander, and then they keep saluting, and then they keep walking. It's pretty good.
Very good, Francis. Very good. We might need you to escort us to the lower city at some point.
We do that. I think I walked down there a bit.
Did you?
Yeah, I took a bit of a wrong turn.
Down the elevator?
Yeah.
Or stairs? Yes.
Yeah.
How was it down there? Where did you go? Did you see a pub?
Honestly, it was pretty
was it-
bad. They don't really understand like buildings down there. It was mostly just ash, and that's not a way to live.
Oh, no, that is not.
It's all right. The other end was fine. That had some good buildings in it.
Which end was that? Did you see? And she'll describe Robbie Carr's place. Did you see a building that looked like that?
No, I think that was just gone. Oh, I saw a sign.
Right then.
He says, and
You
he
did?
pulls something out of his pocket as he pulls out a corner of the sign of the railway pub.
Oh, was there anything left of the sign? Was there anything left? Is this
Couple
all
skulls.
you found? She'll very gingerly take the piece of the railway sign. Anything else at all?
A lot of scared people.
Yes. Didn't you hear?
Oh,
Did
and it
anyone
was
any of them named Robbie or Mr. Carr?
I'll be honest, I wasn't really listening for names.
Oh,
They were
that's
all
fine,
just like,
that's fine.
we have important things to tell you, Commander. I was like, right, all right. And I listened. Didn't really go in, so I left. I said, I'll get right on that. And I came up here. And then I found it. I found the courts.
Yes.
Happy days.
Good.
What did they say to you? Do you remember anything?
Well,
Anything
let
at
me
all?
just make a quick intelligence check.
Oh no, he's a plus
Betty.
one like me. Come on, Francis.
Slash I. 2d10. One.
Plus
There
one.
we go.
10! That's good for Francis and I.
Well, remember, he said, Commander, we've got something important to tell you.
Yes.
And then, but make sure you, please. It's of the utmost importance, sir.
And you
That's what I remember.
cannot remember the bits because they are probably the bits of most importance. Not the please, although manners are indeed important too.
Yes.
I mean, true. I mean, I usually remember the important bits, which I think was those.
Right.
But you are the ace detective, and if you say that's the case, I will do my best to remember.
And they approached you while you were at this place, and she holds up the sign.
Oh, I just started walking around.
Uh-huh.
I walk with purpose, so they always think, I know what I'm doing.
It's very, very wise.
You remind me so much of Gabriel. Bless you.
Who's
I
Gabriel?
have been thinking that this whole time.
If Gabriel was a dog and at least 50 times larger than he currently is, which he's aiming for, I think he'd be like you. She'd kind of pat you on the elbow.
I
Right.
I look at her. It's like, he's still alive, right? He's literally at your feet.
Yes, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the fat corgi's just kind of there, looking up with his big eyes.
Oh, Gabriel.
Let's
Where
ask
did you get this
Park.
fellow?
It's more of a
He's so adorable.
Yes. Don't feed him anything. He's tried to master the art of eating while wearing his mask, and somehow he's managing. So please keep all food items away from him.
you sort of like the tongue whipping out
Understandable.
from underneath. the
Yeah.
mask.
That is highly
Oh.
unsanitary, Gabriel. Stop.
I know a very lovely, if you ever need a companion for him, Nettie's Popper Emporium is a very good place to get, if it still exists in Lower London.
She kind of scoops up Gabriel. I don't know, Gabriel. Are you
do you actually want
do you like
another dog?
sharing, or I mean, it's not really all about me, is it? You've got to think of Gabriel as well. He might get lonely.
You just
I the
continue to see
two
the
of
small
them.
corgi's tongue just continually
Can you
from underneath
please?
its gap.
Imagine if you had two of them, you could, put wheels on your shoes and have a chariot.
That is true. I could get you a greyhound next time.
That
is
would
how they
get
work.
Gabriel
That's
to
a
walk.
very good idea.
Yes.
That's a great idea, Miss Fairchild. And this is why you're the brains of the group.
Absolutely.
And why I
She's
should
rather
never attempt to
smart.
make jokes, apparently.
I just like
Meta-
grin at Mr.
Manager?
Well,
Why wouldn't it work?
because Gabriel's
Wait.
very lazy, you see, and he has very short legs,
Oh.
so I don't think I could actually strap a harness to him and an actual chariot.
You
because
can
it just
strap a harness to a
drags.
great many things, no matter the size.
GM.
I've heard that. And yes,
Yes, horses and the
Delilah.
like.
Yes,
Does roller
horses.
skates exist yet?
the roller skates exist. I don't believe so.
Yet.
Not like
If this is the case, do
I've
I
seen the
have an
paving
idea for
in
my
these
husband?
days. It is
I'm
like
going to patent it.
harsh paving. You would like get like an inch and then throw yourself a mile. Like
Yeah, so just thinking about it, it's like if we had smooth surfaces, I bet my husband could do something.
Right.
yeah, you don't
well,
usually see
this-
rollerblades. They're too
What
dangerous.
was
They
this
might knock off your
emporium?
gas mask.
No,
Is it-
oh dear heavens.
this Popper's Emporium thing. Where is it?
It's in Lower London. Oh, it's a charming little place. It's right across
We
from
can't go to
Henrik's.
Lower London right now.
Well, you say that, yet we have a lovely commander of the Death Watch with us right here.
I
And
don't
as you
think
say that,
it
two more
is-
members of the Death Watch pass and go, Commander, and he goes,
So, if we have a commander escorting us, I'm sure we could get down to Lower London.
You know, I don't think
And-
it's right for me to go to Lower London just to buy another bloody dog.
Well,
I think it's
also-
a wonderful idea. I could
I
get you
think
another
I
nobly
need
bred
to-
pup, of course, but this sounds like a wonderful charity.
Yes, Nettie's quite a lovely, single mother. But there's also a lot that's been destroyed in Lower London, and I really would like to check to see if certain establishments still exist and people, and how the mob is taking this. Yeah. Wonder if the Americans were hit as hard as the British.
I just kind of like open my mouth and close, like,
Lilith, Miss Lilith,
Yes.
the people who probably perpetrated this attack are likely to be the Americans themselves.
Did they get that much firepower? Did they
They
pull up?
bought something called a death ray.
What?
Yes.
This is some level society level of bullshit.
For once, I can agree with you. Yes, it is.
well, if
Yes.
you think about
Oh,
the perspective.
Speaking of which,
Kinsman.
Francis, do you know where did you know if Alucard brought Mr. Tesla to one of my safe houses? Did you check on them? You haven't checked on them yet. That's fine.
Tesla?
You can check on them later. Yes.
No.
I think. Yes, Ned mentioned something about that. He and
You hear that name, Verruckt, after your previous conversation?
And
What
he
do
and
you-
our
Doctor is
engineer.
a slate right
Who's
now.
Tesla?
This whole thing is
Tesla,
rather
it's a,
real to him.
He's a scientist.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he's got blue-
lovely. I'm sure my husband will love him.
Oh, another
Yes.
He
one.
said something about Tesla, and when he was talking about his doctor, not doctor, his engineer, not a doctor.
Yes, Dr. Roman Carlyle, a pleasant fellow.
Yes.
Very easily frightened, though. Has a bit of
Oh, I do adore him. He reminds me of a little bird, a smart one.
yes,
I like
fragile.
birds.
Why
I
do you
do
have
too.
Tesla locked in a garage somewhere or something?
We
What?
don't. He's not locked in a garage. He's getting some rest. He needed some
Right.
lotion for his skin, and I
Delilah
have lots of
and
it.
Miss Fairchild, could you all make me a very, very quick wit check from your angle that you're currently stood at?
Is this one again?
Oh yes.
13. I have good eyes.
Oh yes. +2.
I have one good eye.
Oh, nice. 15.
Very good. Anybody who got above a 13? You see a gentleman in a white suit walking around with sort of very nice blonde hair that's
Just-
slicked back and a very neat suit and a very beautiful looking platinum pocket watch that he keeps looking at before he places it again.
Do I
and takes
see
out a
this
different one
motherfucker?
and places it away.
this-
And you see
is
that
this him?
motherfucker.
This is him.
You recognize them as the watch store owner, the one that you went to before.
We
And
recognize
yes.
him as the guy who got us into the auction, wasn't he?
He was.
We
the
also
gentleman
recognise
got
him
you
as the
into
one
auction.
who like mind blew us into being like different animals and like
I was
Yes.
a tree! No!
He's the one that made you all have a trip.
Yeah,
Really?
I just
You
look
see,
at
like,
him and I'm like, I think we should go.
Come over her. She's like, you.
Oh dear.
you know this man.
He is awful. I hate him so much.
I can go.
Why?
He
Done?
he was going to kill me. In a furnace.
Oh,
In a train. But then he got really spiteful because I mentioned an acquaintance of mine, Mr. Bramore, and he got all fussy and was like,
Oh,
oh, but I guess.
The one who we are employed by.
do you
Oh,
know
really?
Mr. Moore?
Fantastic fellow. Very charming. Yes, he's a good businessman.
Right.
Yes, certainly.
He does a lot of trade business.
Yes.
And you see
Yes.
the gentleman in the
Now,
white
this
suit.
motherfucker over here is an asshole.
Do we
You can't get a
And he kind
straight
of like-
answer out of him.
Please.
He is
He
the
walks
worst. He
around.
won't tell you anything.
He looks around again, kind of clocks onto all of you. He looks over each of you individually, sort of has a dawning realization that you exist. Looks over to Lilith and her anger, and then puts his pocket watch away, then turns, starts to walk across the road.
He's all,
towards the
oh,
courts.
your friend Alexander's going to die in 7 days, and you would have died in 10 minutes, but I'm going to change the time.
Towards ports?
He's
Right.
just awful. He's the
Right,
worst.
well-
You ask him about things, and he's like, I know things, but I'm not going to tell you them. Ho, 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 ho. I hope you die in a burning furnace.
Let's just leave. I don't want to be anywhere near that man. That he's
He's
not a good omen.
Evil and horrible and an awful omen.
Good day,
Um,
everybody, he says as he approaches you. How are you all doing?
Hello.
It's a pretty
quite
dark,
well.
isn't it? Very sunny outside. It's very much
Pleasure.
a good day today. He says it is quite dim as always.
GM, what's this guy's name? I've got too many notes.
You don't remember.
I
He was
do
just-
not have perfect memory.
You don't quite remember the name.
Yeah, I don't
It's a
remember
very
his name
strange
either.
time.
Lilith has-
pleasure to meet
they're not
you
Lilith.
again.
Lilith has a name.
Though this place wouldn't be considered sunny.
But those who are involved in it, fortunately, your memories are very hazy.
Really, even
Do I
though we.
remember being a tree?
You do remember being a tree, but
But what
Okay.
about the
it
name
is-
that
you
Mickey
remember
gave
those
me?
details more.
The name that
Just
Mickey gave me,
take a
so we'd have to go
step back.
speak with him.
You don't remember that, unfortunately.
Weird. Yeah,
Like
she
a
just kind of
blank.
looks very confused. And she's like,
But you remember
You.
the other strange trip.
Hmm.
Oh, well, hello. I didn't expect you to be coming back so soon. Welcome home, Lilith.
Surprise!
Oh, I'm not surprised, but hi.
Oh.
Are you well? How are you doing? Is your health good?
It's fantastic. It's lovely, great,
Good.
wonderful.
You are looking great today, by the way. Very good, very good.
Of course I am. I always am.
Of course.
Is that your name?
And it's not Lilith.
What is it today?
is Anastasia.
Anastasia, beautiful name. Very
Yes,
classic
thank
for
you.
you.
Just narrow my eyes at him. Yes, well,
I
it's
can
my
see
name.
you're alive, Doctor. Good,
So-
good. He says and sort of takes something out of his pocket and then winds up a clock a bit and puts it back in his pocket again.
All right.
Very good.
Excellent.
Well, this is
Yes.
delightful. I
No,
have...
it isn't.
Whose death
You're
are you
looking
unwinding
radiant
today?
Miss Fairchild.
No, I'm not.
You definitely are. You always do.
No, I've rarely looked
Every day of
radiant
your
in my
life.
entire life.
And Havelock is very healthy, and that is great.
And I walk away. Nope, not having my son's name in this man's mouth. I just walk like a good
That's fine.
3 meters away.
At least I think... Yes, he's fine. Yes. So,
And
I
how
have
is
a
Mr. Robbie Carr, since you're so knowledgeable on all of these things? How's his pocket watch looking?
well, you didn't say the magic word, so I can't tell you that.
Please.
Please?
It's too late. You have to say it at the time. It doesn't mean as much if you say it afterwards. That's posthumous manners. That's not good.
If you would excuse, sir.
You didn't even introduce yourself
Please.
properly, so where are your manners?
Woo!
He just blinks at you and then looks to Verruckt. Yes, Doctor.
Could you please tell us about the health and well-being of this Mr. Carr?
Given you're so polite and nice, Doctor, yes, of course.
Well, thank you.
He kind of digs through his pockets and pulls out a few things from there before he pulls out what looks to be a brass watch that looks a bit beaten up. And he sort of clicks it open and just looks at it. Oh, that's bad. Well, I'll be off. Have a good day.
And hence, Mr. Carr is bad.
Yes. He just kind of hands you the pocket watch over and leaves.
Okay.
He seems busy.
What
I
is
don't
the
want to be
condition-
late. I never am late. Ever.
I hope your
What is
meeting
the
goes well.
condition of the
Thank you.
watch?
Thank you. You too. Have a lovely day.
Yes.
Lovely dog.
Well,
Brilliant name.
Keep your
You're
watches
nice
away
man.
from him. She says, and she just like takes a step back.
No.
See?
Dogs don't have watches.
Hmm.
Do they live
He says as he
together?
leaves.
That's good.
On that ominous note, he leaves inside, sort of
Dogs don't have
running up
watches.
the stairs.
I hope you
It's good you don't have
burn
one.
through all eternity.
You'd likely eat it anyway, Gabriel. It's good that you don't have one.
The
You know
doctor
what he
takes
reminds me
the
of?
watch and sees if it's still functioning at all. Is it
Sure.
still keeping time?
Could you give me I'll give you one on galvanics because I know you have galvanics.
Alrighty.
I'm just going to come back over now that he's left.
See,
Yep.
rude,
It's
impertinent,
like I never left, just like,
and just awful. Can never get a
You
straight
look at
answer.
it, and you don't know how this thing is working entirely, but it's a strange watch. But as you sort of look at the hands, they seem to be slowly ticking more towards the 0.
I would say, Miss Lilith, that your
Seems like 3 hours on it.
Your companion has maybe 3 hours,
I
according
swear,
to
at
this
least,
timepiece.
at least to give us a time schedule. Let's go. Would you, doctor? You're a very good doctor, I've heard. Could you please accompany me to Lower London with my good friend Francis here?
I am the commander.
Yes, my good
I
commander.
think I
Francis.
should be referenced as such.
Yes, Francis, commander.
Commander Obelisk it is.
I love it.
And,
This is great. This is the best day
Francis
for me.
Obelisk.
It's all coming up, Francis. It's all coming up, Commander.
He's oh my goodness.
Please, doctor. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mr. Robbie Carr, but he does good work in the community, and he's very important to me.
Oh, right, a charity worker.
I have worked
Yes, of
on
course.
the gangsters before, and I imagine I will work on them again.
If we're going down there, did you guys want me to maybe see if I can find out if the Americans are behind this?
I had
We
rather
think-
hope you burnt that bridge behind you.
Yes.
Hopefully he's
Well, I don't have to talk to him.
And besides, we saw who bought the device, and we know their motivations. It's very likely that they just used it.
I I'd say that's a likely chance, but
They won't.
yeah.
As you
This is like
pointed out, they're
has
not.
the doctor's arm and has Francis and is just slowly walking towards the nearest elevator to that part of London.
Well, I'm sure they won't get into too much trouble. Are you going down there too, Miss Berkley and Miss Fairchild?
Miss Fairchild is kind of like watching, since she mentioned that she's fond of Mr. Cobb, Miss Fairchild's like watching Lilith like a mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Just like
Right.
quiet judgment, like, really? Yeah.
He won't
Don't
touch
you
my
have?
wall.
Don't you have
We saw the
a personal
letters.
connection to Mr. Carr, Miss Fairchild? Do you want?
He's a good lad. I would like to know if he's survived the night, but there are many people in the lower city that I would like to know if they've survived.
Are you
But
going
death is
down?
inevitable, so I can wait.
Right. Well, if you're going down, I will accompany you if you wish. Otherwise, I will go and visit someone before tonight.
Do we think their escapade down would be rather hindered if there were that many of us?
I think
Francis
it would.
being lovely, but perhaps not the best liar in the world.
Yes, that is very correct.
But I feel like Lilith more than makes up for the lack of ability to lie.
Yes, I imagine she
And it would
does.
make sense that you, as a mourner, and at least me, perhaps as a detective, would be down there. It would likely be you, Miss Berkley, that would have a time.
I
Unless you
could
seem
go
to be
in
a
disguise,
philanthropist. Yes.
You do also know
See,
that
the
Mickey
thing
did
is-
return to Lower London. You do have
Yeah,
an in.
I know I do. But I'm also like, do I really want to revisit that after I finally got him out of my house? It's a toxic relationship. Like, she just kind of looks very conflicted, and I think during the time especially, like, Dr. Verruckt has like known her and of her relationship with like Mickey. It's like it's an expression of concern, reluctance, and curiosity, just like just
All swirled together, as it were.
very much so. And just like, but well, the thing is, I really don't want to go back to my, I don't know, Charmblade possessed husband. While I do love him, and I'm unfortunately in a bit of a rough spot with Lord Marriott right now.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What did you do?
She was American at him.
Oh, for
Yes.
Christ's sake!
There was something I just had to know, and I know I learned manners. I really learned a lot of them
Trying
from
to
Ned.
teach me
But
tact last night, really?
yes, that's easy. That's just the game. But it was just me.
In Lady Berkeley's defense, I don't think she knew entirely the stain she was stepping in, but she'd go about it in a rather forthright way.
I always forget. There's certain games to play with you lot, and you don't
It is
follow
very
the rules
reckless
properly.
of you to do that, you know.
Yes, and one of the rules of the game is not mentioning dead people unless asked.
Well, sometimes you could. She kind of looks. Look, it's not like that. Just sometimes if you find out certain things, they'll go away.
Oh, Miss, not Magdalena. It's not Magdalena. Lilith, before you go, there's something to tell you.
Yes.
If you do want a name of the person who is very likely to have done this, I can give you one.
Yes.
Because
I would
good
love
news.
to.
Right. Miss Camille Livingston.
Have I heard of Miss Camille Livingston, DM?
You can give me a streetwise check, please.
I need you. Okay. She took my pencil. I don't know where it is. That's fine. I'll take notes later. How about a 25 for a crit?
Well, on a crit, you do know Miss Camille Livingston. One of the daughters of one of the larger mobs in the US. Came over to England. Since then has been building her power more subtly than some of the other boys. Mickey's boys, for example, are rather obvious in what they do. They're rather boisterous. What she does is a bit more subtle, usually. But she's a very vindictive person. And it seems if she is one of the people that's involved here, then some things definitely crossed her or pissed her off in some way. You don't know what, though. You've been away for a while and a lot's happened in that time.
A couple months seems like forever.
You've been lucky enough to never meet her.
Excellent. Right. Thank you. I'll file that name away for later. Now,
As you wish.
2 hours, 50-something minutes. Let's go.
And Miss Fairchild will look at Miss Griffiths. Are we going?
I'm going to say that much is incredibly accurate, let me just say.
Entirely up to you, Miss Fairchild.
Don't worry, we can get you all down. You can check on whoever you wish. If you want to go down there, we're going now. So it's now or who knows?
Yes, I think we should go.
I am being moved very slowly. Says Francis, having moved about 3 inches.
We have to
with
check
Lilith
on our old
pulling him.
companion's place, do we not, Miss Fairchild?
Yes, I rather think that would be prudent. At least to get some sense of whereabouts and state of being.
Yes.
Quick question on a very
Yes.
big sign up. How much foresight would I have to warn one of Rouge's experimental self-transforming dresses? You know, the ones you kind of open and flip, and they also does it look fancy or less fancy?
I'll tell you what, give me 1 d10. If it's above a 5, you had foresight. If it's
What is
below that, then
foresight?
hindsight's a bitch.
Oh,
And it's above that. You
Foresight.
Not only you had a lot of foresight, you thought you'd need to do something dramatic today. You felt the air of the day was dramatic. You woke up, you stretched, you looked out of the window, there were no birds there because the air's tainted, and then you decided, you know what, today is a dramatic day, Delilah.
To be fair, I woke up to the town crier going, "Do you know 2 people in blood, Queen of Red?" You know.
Yeah,
so-
and it's after you decided that today was a dramatic day that it kicked off with a report of multiple noble families being killed and horribly presented in the... You were correct.
Perfect. All right, if that is the case, then as Tilly and Miss Fairchild are just talking, Delilah just kind of unhooks one thing on one of her dresses, twirls and spins, and just makes it so it flips to the other side as she suddenly goes in from lavishly formal to simple.
You will have to tell me the name of your tailor
And-
because that is amazing.
Hair comes down loosely.
Right.
Yeah, you magical girl transformation into a common.
I've done some quick changes before, but this revolutionizes things.
She nods.
my
Oh yes.
goodness, you have too much money.
She laughs. Ned has too much money, and he indulges me.
Clearly.
Yes. Oh, Doctor, also, here are your things. I retrieved them.
Well, thank you very much. And he refastens, places everything exactly back where it's supposed to be, and
It smells like wisteria and lilies now. But it's all there.
I love the smell of Mysterious. Oh, so good.
That's her perfume. I had a custom perfume made for Lilith, and that's what it smells like mostly.
It's wonderful.
I don't have a table.
Nostalgia and death. I love it.
Mhm.
So, and with your quick change, and with you being ready, do you all begin to make your way towards the lifts, or is there anything else any of you want to cover?
as we're walking, the doctor will find himself walking beside Lady Berkley, and
Okay.
he'll say, "I see that it's transfers it to interact with your paramour, Mickey."
I beg your pardon?
Your the ongoing relationship with this Mickey. Is this the fashion, the hair dropping? Is it all for this?
You just escaped the noose.
It's what he sees. I'm calling it like he sees it.
She
love it.
looks at him as... No. This is so
Are
we can
you
blend
sure?
in better. Yes.
London grows colder.
And she just like fixes you with like I wouldn't say a death glare, but it's a very hard look.
Well, the doctor
Look.
does indeed have an etiquette of like one, so
It's fine. Yeah, she just sighs. We have a complicated relationship. I don't trust him, and it's strange, and I hate him, and he's not done. Anyway.
And yet you continue to see this man? Maybe
I just
it's
don't want him
something
to
think
die.
about. Oh.
He's not the
And
best
the doctor
person.
the doctor takes a moment to look around like for where's Magdalena to like give her the
Yeah.
die kind of look,
There is
and
no
then he
Magdalena.
realizes she's not there, and he says, maybe sometime we could talk about your relationship further.
There's nothing to talk about. We were together
have
for a
quite
very
a
long
long
time. He was a terrible person, and I realized that, so I left. At least I tried.
Well, it is good to know that you are not still enamored with this gangster.
Shakes her head. No, it's not that.
Do I believe her? Is there like an insight check?
You can give me a
check?
psychology.
All right.
See if you get a good read.
All right.
Let's see.
Oh, no, a 9.
Would you like to re-roll that, or are you keeping it?
What do we got? How much time do we have? Another hour?
Oh yeah. We have 3 hours for. Obviously
Okay.
Ricky, Robbie, even, but we have an hour left of game.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell? Let's re-roll.
It's the spirit.
Yep.
I love that.
Burn those re-rolls.
Yeah.
Nothing
Dang,
bad will happen.
14.
14 is much better. You get a much clearer read. Are you telling the truth, Delilah? Is there more to this?
She means it when she doesn't have romantic feelings for him. But the best way I'd say is something similar to Stockholm Syndrome.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
That's amazing. That's
That's
really good.
probably what you would get with that particular role, because it's a love-hate relationship. Because from what she's told you, like they have had a long connection. He's protected her, but he's also the one who made her work. His association killed her father. Da 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 da. Overall, she hates the fact that he's a horrible person, but she can't bring herself to hate him.
And he was one of her first loves, right? If I'm
He
remembering
was
correctly.
her first love, her first basically everything.
Okay.
And then you
yeah.
know she probably had like a really long period of promiscuity in between, and then she met Ned, and I was like, I'm gonna be this guy's wife.
Okay, and then he just kind of goes into the nod at the end, and is like, good. I am sorry that I was mistaken. And we just kept walking the whole time with them. He just.
Oh yeah,
kind
you'd have
of,
been
you know,
walking along at the time.
Yeah.
And you do make it to the lift, where you do see Francis walk up to them, and they salute, and he looks over them, and he goes. He just kind of looks down instead of saying anything, and then they look at him and go, "Commander, do you need to go down to the lower city again?" And he looks at them. Very well. Of course, Commander. And they pull the lever, and you see it go down with all of you with it as he stands silent and strong and massive and an obelisk.
So commanding, Commander Francis. What an air you have about you.
Is Commander Obelisk, I believe, is the moniker he is
Obelisk.
going under.
He says under his breath as you're taken down, and the lift grinds down very shakily, and it gets towards the bottom where it seems jammed on something, and you hear some noise from below before they seem to clear whatever wreckage is below it, and it continues to lower down. It eventually clicks into its holdings on the bottom, and you see Francis stomp off, and you see the others salute to him again, and he salutes back, and then he gestures to all of you.
Gabriel, in my purse, you might get snatched and eaten. You're looking rather
You
fat.
see, you see one of them walk up to Francis and kind of goes, Commander, did you do what I asked? And Francis turns around and in his deepest voice he can do just goes, yeah, I did it. You sure, Commander? Are you questioning me? No, Commander. And he nods. That's better. Then he turns to you all as you walk by and goes, well, that was quite easy. He says he kind of walks with you happily.
Lilith looks pretty impressed. She's like, yes, Cynthia. Would you mind terribly if I led the way?
Yeah, you can do that. I don't really know my way around here. I've never been here, aside from that one time where I found that place and it was ash.
Yes.
Oh, that's there. He points, and you do see
Yes.
the entire East End of London is just ash. Just as far as the eye can see, you can just see
So many people. So many
disintegrated houses, people.
What about the railway station?
And could you give me a wit check as you're looking for your favourite pub where Robbie is meant to be?
Yes. I think I have a 2 in wit. Yes, I do. I'm too distraught.
On a critical fail, you look over and you look the other way, and the wind blows and ash blows into your face, and it blinds you temporarily, and your tears flow.
Oh dear. Here. I'll just press a handkerchief to her hand.
Ash,
Here
people
you
I
go.
knew.
And as you lick the handkerchief and start trying to rub it in, you realize your fatal flaw as the ash becomes much more sticky and together as you're wetting it, and you end up with an ash-smeared face.
It's fine. It's
Yes.
I'll play on the pathetic side of it. All right, let's go.
You look beautiful regardless,
Tell her
but please
that
keep
might
on
be
looking.
people,
Yes.
says Verruckt to sorry, not says Verruckt, says Franz.
What?
Fletcher.
Verruckt?
I would try and keep that away from your mouth, Miss Lilith.
You should be wearing a respirator.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Do you
You
not have
should be doing that, he says.
Ignore me then.
while
No,
they were having
they weren't. It's fine.
GM? Could
Yeah.
I, after the commander was like, I've done it, you question
Yeah.
me. Can I have had a bit of a listen in to see if I could glean what they were like actually
Sure.
referencing?
Could you give me a very quick wit perception, please, based on hearing?
Yeah.
Lilith didn't care. Like, it'll be fine.
Based on the senses, it's all good. 18.
Yeah, they seem to be talking about the fact that their shift has been very long. They're meant to have been swapped over about 4 hours ago.
What's 3 hours more? It's
Francis, Commander Obelisk.
Better. I'll accept it. It's my official title. Yes, what can I do for you, best detective?
It seems the gentlemen have not been shifted for a break. They've been out here a very long time, and they'd like
That's
to.
terrible.
Yes, it is. I was wondering, perhaps we could send a letter up there, and you could sign it. I'll pen it. You sign it if you're an official Death Watch member or whatever.
Oh, it's all
Do you
right.
have
I can sort it.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
What did
I've
I
got
just
this.
say? Commander Obelisk, reply to me. Right. She begins penning a
Let me
letter.
just quickly make a check about what I remember.
Okay.
You said they need to go on break?
They need their shift
Letters.
changing. And we should write a letter to go up top
Yes.
so they can be relieved of their duties.
Got it. I'll go do that, he says and starts walking over. And he approaches again and you see him. Yeah. Be quick, I might forget what was just said to me.
okay. Just have the letter written. The letter will be Probably better this time.
I mean, I was just going to tell them to go home.
They need someone to cover their shift. They're quite vital right now.
If there was no one there at the bottom of the elevator, we would have no problems getting back up.
However, they would also let in other people that would want to go up, which is not good.
Right, yeah, that's a good point.
It'll be a-
Well, you write your letter.
Yes, I'll write the letter. We'll send it up there, and that's fine. You
All
sign
right.
it, all right? You know how to sign.
He does know how
Yes.
to read.
It's good. She'll pen a letter.
If they hand it to one of them, just have it. He'll hand it to one of them, and then they can say this letter's from the commander.
Yes. Yeah, she'll write a letter.
And you pen a letter.
And just
Francis, hand
Yes.
this to that man and tell him to give it to the man up top.
All right, he says and takes it and walks over. And he hands it over, and you see him talk with him for a moment, his head bobbing in his helmet, which is how you can tell he's talking. And he then turns around and walks back towards all of you, dust kicking up with each of his mighty footsteps.
yeah, I just look over a little bit, like just
Is
to
the
see.
guy
if it-
going to the left to go up?
Yeah, they look relieved as they start to head off, and they start to go up towards the other end. There are still a couple people on shift who are waiting as those ones leave. There we go. I told
Very
him,
good job, Commander.
read this, give it to the person you need to, you're off. Give it to him. I remember that, but I said that very clearly, and I looked at them, and they looked at each other and were very uncomfortable.
You did a very good job, Commander Obelisk. Very well done.
Right. Good.
Right.
Says
lead
the
the way.
massive, bulky Death Watch member.
I
as
will
you lead the way.
immediately head towards, just beeline towards where.
Okay. As you begin to make your way through the streets of London, and you do see there are multiple sort of the street thieves and some of the people who have now discovered their
Tommy.
homes are gone when they've come home from the pub, who are kind of crouched in doorways and half-destroyed houses covered in this ash as they're sort of trying to huddle and keep themselves safe. But it seems there's a lot of devastation. You see pieces of skull, you see bones stripped of all flesh, nothing left. You see ash wherever you can see as you're trotting through it, and the entire street is deathly quiet, the wind that blows through just shifting the ash deeper in. And you do eventually see the edge of the railway pub, as you see a quarter of it has survived.
Yeah, Lilith just runs towards it.
You
As
sprint
we're,
towards it. Yes, go on, Miss Fairchild. That was okay.
as we're heading that way, do I see anyone I know or could speak to sifting through the wreckage?
Give me a very quick wit check.
Okay. Is it perception?
It is,
Yeah, then I get a -2 because I got one eye.
indeed. Your spookum
Ooh.
eye does let you see cool things, though.
Yes, it does.
Indeed, your spookum eye is lighting up like a firework right now,
Oh,
as you're seeing many spirits. And you also see very bright clothing, a long coat with long tails, purple with a gold trim. And you see a top hat, as you see somebody going through the wreckage of what looks to be the railway pub, as they're sort of pulling some things out and looking for a few things. You see them take what looks to be a couple of pound notes that they just kind of shove in the back pocket and kind of look over. As you see Fancy Vince.
Doesn't
I-
it fancy?
Oh, you know Fancy Vince. Everybody who's got anything in this town knows Fancy.
I walk over and tug on the back of his coat, like tug his coattails.
He's
Vincent,
tugging on my coattails, he says. He turns and goes, oh, well, with it, isn't Miss Fairchild? Welcome back to our lovely abode down here. Much more ash, it seems. Terrible stuff, but needs must.
needs must when the devil drives. How are you,
It's a
Vincent?
good one. I'm going to use that. I'm good. I mean, good as good can be. My house was destroyed, turned completely into ash. Lost all my things, but the clothes on my back.
You seem to
So
have landed
there it
on your
was.
feet. And
Always
he kind of
done.
looks towards his back pocket where he's just put the money, like,
I've landed as best as I can on my feet, but I got a lot to do. Some people say I was dropped very young and I landed on my feet. That's why I'm so eloquent and smart. Or smart, as some people say.
If you find yourself in dire need, you are aware that I believe I owe you a favor.
Oh, you definitely do, don't you? He says and kind of smiles at you. I might come for your help, but I didn't want to on account of you have other things to deal with. I didn't want to get in the way, but I might do, because, to be honest, I mean, I was like, you know what, maybe I can recover my house. I think I've had a sock. I can't live in a sock, Miss Fairchild. I'm sure you understand that. Can't live in a sock.
I understand that, yes. I wondered if you knew if any of the lads from the pub had survived the night.
Oh, yeah, definitely did. In fact, you could say that some of them were quite expeditiously removed. Although this was all done as some sort of revenge trick. You know what people are like with their revenge. Get real handsy about it. Not usually this big, though. Whoever did this, they have issues. They probably need to see a psychologist or something.
I believe they have serious impulse control issues.
Probably.
Do you know who got out?
I believe a couple lads. Do a Ricky, you know, the old boy from the American lot. He was living around here for a short time. He got left. I believe he went with them willingly. Robbie, he got taken. Unfortunately, he fought like a champ. But when there's that many Americans, ain't exactly something you can win. They were like, at least over 10. So, a lot of Americans. Maybe even more than 10. Maybe it was 10. I don't really know math much, but the point is...
Wait. You're saying that Americans came and took them?
Sort of. More like they had an extended fight that kept on going away, and then I stopped looking, and then boom, everything went.
This might be a rather silly question, but are there no relief efforts going on at all?
It's Lower London.
It's a relief effort.
It's a thing that rich people have where bad things happen to them and poorer people come in and fix it.
Oh, right. Yeah, we don't have anybody poorer than us, love. Sorry.
No, I was rather hoping to do something.
Well, I don't think
Do you know?
there's much to do. You could probably get a sweeping brush. Dustpan and brush, get it working.
It's more like
Gather.
organise getting something built, a temporary accommodation, something.
Well, until yesterday, we did have an entire quarter of a city, but now we don't, so, you know.
I
it'll take a while.
know. I'm sorry, it's a lot.
Fancy
Telling
Vince.
me. Yes, so what can I do for you, Lilith? Delightful to see you, by the way. Ravishing as always.
Yes, thank you. I was out of town for a bit. Do you know where they took Robbie?
He was fighting, and he was like running, and he was
It's
going
which direct-
towards some sort of shoe factory. I think he's
I know
held
the
up
place.
there.
Thank you. Yes, on this way. She picks up her skirts very quickly.
Oh, there is
Norton's
someone on the
right.
list. One last thing. Is there a person called Stabby Gino walking around here? I'm on high alert, you see.
Stabby Gino, I don't think I've ever heard of him.
It's not a name you would forget.
Sorry, cat detective, we got a code of honour down here. I respect your work. I do. I love cats, and you've saved so many, but I can't cross Stabby Gino. He's got a name like Stabby Gino. You know what that means? Not
I
nice
just
things.
like-
Not even if it's a
Let's
bit
go.
spicy.
It's just, I don't want to necessarily capture him right now. I just want to make sure that I just want to see if he's alive, just so that I can know. Do you know what I mean?
No, not really. I'll be honest. I don't
It's-
like usually
it's-
seeing people alive if I don't want them to stab me.
I will take that as it will. Thank you very much.
It's all right.
Um,
But it's probably fine. I imagine he stabbed the dust away or something. Or he's dead, I don't know.
very likely did. 1 minute. How much money
The
do I
whole
have?
time, the doctor has been doing mass to gigajoules conversion theory to try to figure out exactly what how yeah exactly. So there's like pages of conversion formula for galvanics.
Yeah, whatever this was, this was insanely powerful.
Yeah.
Lilith, for you,
Yes.
it's sort of similar to the gun that you had on the ship,
God, it's the love of society.
but to the nth degree.
But
It is
on
like
steroids.
it makes that look like a little derringer.
Oh, good heavens.
Lilith,
Yes.
would you say Fancy Vince is a person who would share if things were given to him, or would he very much not share and take it all for himself?
Depends on who you are.
It's more the rest of the people here are suffering a lot. They're going to need to eat, they're going to need to buy things, and they don't have a lot right now. Do you think if I gave him something, he would share it?
Do I think? I've known Fancy Vince a while.
You've known Fancy Vince a while. You can give me a streetwise check.
Sure.
Miss Fairchild, even you can do this, as you're aware of Fancy Vince.
Yes. That sounds really nice.
And do you have a different sort of relationship with the Lower London residents than Tilly, Delilah,
I'm
or
not showing my rolls. It's like I see it there, but I don't see it on the overlay.
Well, I'll trust
Got a
you.
9.
What is your roll?
I got a 9 and a 5 plus
Well,
5.
I think it's
so
updating. 19.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There
Yeah,
we
it
go.
just took forever. All right.
There it is. Okay, cool. So
I
as
can't
you,
remember what my numbers were, but they were low.
you got 17 from the looks?
No, that was. I think that
that's
was
the
a
other check.
previous roll. Yeah.
Okay, well, you can
They
roll
were
again,
low.
because I haven't seen what you've got, so.
Okay.
Looks like just having some fantasy grounds lag.
Some fantasy lag.
19s. Hey.
Very nice. So on your pair of 19s, you both know it's a maybe. They are a bit selfish, as they have to be down here. And he does like his fancy clothes, and that takes some money to upkeep.
Yeah.
But, in times of need, he'll help people if he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a risk. It's not a certainty.
It's a maybe.
It's a maybe.
It's a maybe. He does like assisting, but only after himself.
All right. Well, how's this? And she hands over £6. You give him that, and say if he does a good job with that, he can. I will donate more. If he helps people, he will get something out of it. But it comes from you.
Sure. Vince. What's Vince's vice?
Vince's
Does he
vice is
have
fancy thing. Vince's vice is clothes and things.
Okay. I wasn't sure if he had any
just
other
gonna-
vices.
I'm just going to stand like nearby, judgmental and intimidating.
Yeah, he takes note of that immediately. Kind of gulps a bit and walks over.
Yes.
You're right, Magdalena?
Yes.
I mean, Lilith, always get
I've had a third. Apparently,
I'm used to this, not
attractive.
hanging around with them. Pretty much every
Yes.
time I've met him, they've been hanging around with her, and she's all good. I have daddy issues, blah blah, and then leaves.
Well, then, sounds like a very complicated individual.
Very,
Yes. Well,
very complex. I've heard.
Idea.
the town's in trouble. Robbie has hours left. He's still alive. I'm going to save him. Do some bloody good with this, please. For me. For the children. And she'll hand him the £6. I promise once we get this all fixed up, we'll get back up, we can do something fancy.
I mean, I'm interested in that. Does
Please,
sound good. He says as he kind of holds the £6 still, and you can see his mind's worrying as to what he can buy with this, but he kind of looks at Miss Fairchild's intimidating presence and your sort of pleading, and he, well, all right, for you two, sure. He said,
They'll be
Thank you.
rewarded if you do good.
I
Make sure
knew
of
It's
it.
a shame, though. Yeah, it's a shame. Somebody was selling like a cravat for £2. It was real good. It's rainbow, but, I guess feed the starving kids.
Yes. You can.
It's a very good
Feed the
cravat.
starving children. Feed the starving children, and there might be a pair of cufflinks with the cravat.
Now you're talking business, he says as he sort of gets the £6. He goes, I'll go and see to my people, he says, and gets going.
There we go.
Have a good day, he says. He gets flouncing through the place.
Right.
I'm gonna like sidle up to Lady Berkley and just be all like, your friend with the slightly psychotic approach to clothes. Do they do menfolk? Kind of watching
Well,
Vincent
naturally.
just leave.
She kind of shakes her head. I mean, who do you think dresses my husband?
I rather thought you did.
Well, yes, of course I do, but who do you think commissions them?
I rather thought you did.
Exactly. And I only go to Rouge. She's the best seamstress, though.
Yes.
Anyway,
Challenge.
what is it?
And she'll just kind of gesture after Vince. I owe him a rather large favor.
All right. And you want to get him some clothes?
It seems to be something he puts a great deal of stock in. God knows why.
Because he has his priorities in the right place. She smiles very...
Rich people.
Right. I mean, if you want him to have nice clothes, as the person who raised me always like to say, put your best face forward.
And Tilly,
And
as this
best
is all
dress.
going on and they're all having conversations, could you give me a very quick wit check, please? Just a standard one.
Wait, standard no perception.
No perception. This isn't about your looking.
Okay. 5. 20.
On a 20. Good. You feel your pocket lighten.
I turn around and draw my gun.
You turn around and draw your gun, and an innocent child looks up at you. Oh, miss, don't do that.
How much did you take?
Oh,
Hands out.
only enough to live by, miss. He said.
No,
And he holds
no,
his
no.
hand out, and he has, like, just, a couple coins in his hand. Just enough
Yeah.
to feed me bread, miss.
She looks over the rest of him to see where he's hiding it. Listen to me. I want to help people, but I
His
can't let
pocket
everyone
quite
take
full.
one thing. Yes, and she just reaches over and takes that, counts out like £3 and hands it to him. Share it among your friends. Buy yourself something to eat. Do not steal
thanks,
from me,
miss.
otherwise I won't give you things. I want to help you.
But, I mean, okay, but the logic's quite bad because I tried to steal from you and you
Yeah.
gave me £3, which is
Yeah.
like a lot
Rather
of
than-
money. So I'm going to steal from you more often, he says, and starts walking away. Good day, miss. Good luck on finding the cats, he says as he trots away.
Really hard trying to.
What you say? He says he turns to you. As you said something to him.
Have a good day, Tommy.
Oh, yeah, actually, it's been quite a good day, miss. People are here, they're all walking around with full wallets, it's quite good. Plus, we need the money anyway, we've got to get it to Mr. Carr.
Yes.
What do you mean you
Do you
need the
know
money
where-
to get to Mr. Carr?
Did I start?
Are they holding him for ransom? Is that what they're doing?
No, I mean, why would I can't pay a ransom. Look at me,
Then why do you need the money?
because he wants money. He's got big things on the horizon, isn't he?
Oh.
We're all working the streets.
Is this a recent development or is this an ongoing
Yeah, like
one?
today.
Right.
I'm gonna bend down. Tommy, it's me, Lilith.
Oh,
I know.
I never noticed when I cat of you.
I know.
Look,
Yes. What exactly is what
why'd
we're
your hair
doing?
white?
This is
Why are
actually
your
what it
eyes
looks like
pink?
naturally.
That's weird.
Yes, you do change colours sometimes. You know that.
Yeah, but not like this.
Yes,
But
I'm
fair
going for a
enough.
new look. What exactly did Mr. Carr tell you to do today?
Get on the streets, find some money, bring it back. Got
Bring
big
it back
things
to
coming.
where?
Shoe factory.
Shoe factory. That's where I was headed. Just wanted to make sure he was definitely there.
Yeah, he's with all crawlies. That's what we call it, because there's a lot of crawl spaces.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are indeed. Quite familiar. Where in the shoe factory is he? See, in the front building, the back building, upstairs.
In the upstairs, in the rooms up there. He was set up earlier. He was hiding away from the Americans. Crazy
hiding
lady
with
came
them?
in. She had like a big fucking cannon, and she blew the city away. It was cool, but then it was sad because then I was like,
She's
"Fuck, that
staying
looked
there
cool.
as well.
That was New City."
That's where they're keeping the cannon in the shoe factory.
Oh no! They kind of wheeled it off with them. I was hoping
All right.
they'd leave it.
Well, thank you. We're going to go see Robbie now. I have lots of things to tell him.
I bet you do.
Be good. I do. I always do.
But I'll see you there, he says, and starts walking off.
Uh-huh.
Are the puppies
Right.
alright? The puppy store, is that okay?
That is-
Which yeah, they're fine. It missed it by like an inch.
I mean, real
They have no
handy.
time. They have no watches. They have no watches. That is why.
Yes. Speaking of watches, and she'll link arms with the doctor and just very quick, just towards the shoe factory. She's
Can you begin to
intimately
move
familiar.
towards the shoe factory?
I watched Lilith just basically
And
run towards where there's going to be
she's
like known
holding up her
armed Americans.
linked arms with doctor and just trudging through the ash and everything.
Yeah, you
I
begin
look
to
at
make-
Tilly.
Yes. She says that she's
Are
like,
we-
don't look for a minute. I have to put this into something a little bit more savoury.
good. Goodness.
Oh,
there we go.
Tilly, make sure you kind of part them first before you put them in, and it helps them.
Oh,
get back.
good God! And I walk
It's fine. I can just tuck it in my corset. It's just going to brush up a little bit strangely at times, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yes, I understand that. Are we following her? Because I think Lilith is going to
Dashing
how do I
through the
say this
ash.
politely? Going to a shoe factory filled with extremely armed, probably dangerous. I'm not sure. Probably of my kinsmen. Last time we had a lot of people with guns. Well, it took a coin with fire.
They are also taking Dr. Verruckt with them, and with all that nonsense that went on, it's probably best that we keep them alive. Also, I want my brick wall for tonight. So, yes.
I'll
But-
be your brick wall any night.
What are you planning?
Oh.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And I just walk after Lilith.
What
Francis
is
very
I'm
innocently
sorry,
just trudges along.
what are we even doing here? Like Delilah's just like, I just wanted to see what's happening, not. Well,
Listen,
Walk
sometimes
into-
when you go down here, don't you at least want to see something, anything good come out of this? This is terrible. And in Robbie, I know he's not a perfect man, and to be honest, he should be behind bars, but he did good. He was a good force down here, a better one than most.
yes,
And that is what
right.
people need. So, yes, I will be going anyway, so. And it
And
means
you make your
it's
way.
Fairchild, so I have to. Jesus Christ.
And you make your way through the ash-ridden streets until you find your way through a few winding alleys and to a very, almost looks like it's been built around, like houses have almost blocked this place in. And you see a very old-looking shoe factory, a cobbler's of sorts. It used to make shoe soles back in the day, it seems, heels. And it's very dead looking. It's quiet.
Yes, and on that walk, there were several pointed questions about how long Lilith has known Mr. Carr and what her intentions are. Just like
What are your intentions?
quietly sniping from behind her and the doctor.
Yes. I've known him for a little over a year, and he's my best friend. In the world.
Yes, that's not long at all.
It's
And you're best
actually
friends already. How wonderful.
it's quite a lot of time for me, honestly. So it's honestly, I have amnesia and I can't recall anything beyond 18 months, so a year is a good portion of my memorable life.
There's a quietness after that sentence as Miss Fairchild kind of processes that.
Yeah, that's a lot to be dropped on you in a moment.
Yes.
And then
It's
there's
just at Norton's where she was like, in fact, I was leaving this place when I first met him.
like a silence, and then you don't remember anything at all. Goodness, you could be married.
You see, like it looks like she's seen a ghost when you say that. You just see, like, she's already really pale and white, but it just goes, woof. Married me? What? What?
Well, anything's possible when you can't remember it.
I don't.
Lilith, could you give me a very quick willpower check, please?
Yes, I could try.
You can't add concentration, as this is too shocking.
2 plus 2.
I thought you meant you rolled the 2 somehow. I was like, that's not
No.
impossible.
9.
You feel a strange tightness on your wedding finger. For a moment. Your heart clenches.
She looks like
You
she's
hear
about to have a
bells.
You quite all right, miss?
Yes, I'm fine. But if I was to get married or be married, it would be at this little chapel around, and she'll give the location of a church that's currently abandoned. And you know, what do you think about that place? I hear good things about it.
I'm not particularly religious. I haven't visited. It sounds charming.
And she's like squinting at you. Like, does she know anything? Is she lying? What does she know?
Miss Fairchild knows nothing, but she knows she doesn't believe the amnesia story.
Mm-hmm.
You get a strong sense of suspicion.
Okay.
And
But not like, oh, I know things. She's like,
no.
okay. She'll lean back a bit. But yes, Robbie was the first person I met that saved me from a bunch of terrible cultists. Now let's go.
Yes, he's very helpful that way. Very
He is.
generous and good-hearted.
Makes a good cup of tea. And
So
Sure.
many cultists here in London. He takes a few notes.
and she kind of like runs her hands through her hair, like, should I have one of me?
And as you consider that fact, you make your way into the yard, and you do see it's quite quiet in here. But as you make your way through towards the doors, you know,
She's going towards this building with the second story rather than the warehouse.
Yeah.
So
and you go towards the back stairs. You make your way up in the sort of secluded area.
I want to be
that
moving
has-
quietly.
Are
Just-
you? Or are you
I would
not?
like to.
Okay,
I would
then give me
like
a
to
shadow
move very
check for all those
quietly.
moving quietly.
Yes. Please. 14.
Okay.
Is shadow isn't a skill?
Shadow is stealth.
Yes.
So if you haven't got shadow as the skill, then you can just roll me 2d10s.
But I do have the quiet thing.
Yeah, I have quiet too.
Which does give you a bonus to your
Same,
stealth roll.
yeah. You get
Yeah.
+2.
Yeah.
That's why I have a +5.
Yeah, same.
Nice.
Okay. All of you seem to move relatively quietly. You take your time on the sort of iron stairs that lead up, and luckily don't clank on them too much. You make your way to the door up there, and it opens with ease, Lilith, as all of you seem to be in without a sound.
And I, having been secluded in some of these rooms before, Lilith is going to look for the ones that do have doors. She knows not all of them do, so she's just going to be looking for Robbie.
Okay. As you walk your way in, you do eventually begin
Put
to
on a
hear
little
voices.
bit more perfume to
Just like sneaking, sneaking. It's
like a little dab thing. Just a
Yeah,
little,
a little dab,
it's like an
that's fine.
initiative.
You dance for the
Okay.
second time this session, and and you find your way slowly through the halls, and you do approach one of the sets of doors where you do hear the voices of a few people coming from the other side.
Do they
You
sound
recognize one of
American?
them at least. You can hear English mostly.
Okay. What are they saying?
It's hard to hear from outside the thick doors. You remember this place was chosen for its sound isolating properties.
Is there... the doors are probably going to make noise as she enters. Does she knows if there's a little crawl space? A little squeezy through place?
Plenty of crawl spaces.
Yeah, she'll go for one of those.
You look around. Could you give me a wit check if you're looking for a crawl space?
I would love to do that. Oh, DM.
Could I give a wit check to see if I can hear anything?
14.
Yeah, you can try.
Okay.
Okay, 14. You're looking around, you're trying to find the crawl spaces, and you swear there was one around here, but you can't quite spot it. And on your 11, you can't hear what they're saying. The doors are indeed very thick.
I'm gonna use my reroll because I've only got
Sure,
I've got
use a
one.
reroll.
One reroll. One reroll.
Not. Oh no, your corruption isn't destroying you.
It was 7 and an 8, but it didn't come up. That's
Okay, no
annoying.
problem. Well, in that case, that would be enough. As you manage to hear bare bits about what's going on. You don't make out the full conversation nor all the words, but from what you gather, the tone of what's going on seems to be something about they're hiding away right now, something about helping those they can, bring them here, things like that.
I wanted to make sure it wasn't anything along the lines of...
Miss Lilith, they don't seem to be, surrounded by enemies or taken hostage. It seems perfectly cordial in there. So just go in, but I'm going to stay over here. Just over here, just a little bit.
Right, and she'll open the door and say, Robbie, as she does. Just to,
cool.
And
you do hear
Robbie,
sort of the shifting of grabbing things in there as you open it. And you see a couple of the other boys with sort of like a bat for one of them, and one of them has a meat cleaver in their hand as they see you, and they go, oh, it's you. Oh.
Where's Robbie?
And you see Robbie's, he's stood in there as he kind of looks at you, and adjusts his flat
She'll
cap.
go over and just like put her hands on his face. You're alive, you're all right. Are you bleeding? Are you injured?
Yeah, most of those things, yeah. But
I'm watching from the
good to see you
doorway.
alive. Oh, and you brought me mum, he says, and sort of gestures to you, Miss Fairchild.
You what?
Your mother.
It's a joke. She's not my mum.
But I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you as well.
I brought
It's been a
a
time
very
down
good
here.
doctor. Please lie down so you don't die in 2 hours and 15 minutes.
And I'll
That's
immediately
very odd.
Josh.
I mean, that's quite worrying, to be honest. He says he looks at you and looks to be fine. A few bumps and scratches, but...
Just let the doctor look at you, please.
Oh, bloody hell. All right, Doc.
Also, I
How
have a
do you
lot of
need
money
me?
from you because I did all the things you wanted in York before. York's gone, by the way. It's destroyed.
How's
Very
my
sorry
cousin?
about your cousin. But they were fine before. And then York was overrun by animates. A very well organized group of animates wielding guns.
Well, that's sad.
Yes.
You hear
That's
it
right,
what? Come out from outside.
Yeah. Oh, what? Is that the cat detective I hear? Come on in.
Yes. Hello. How are you?
You can
Good to
come
see
in the
you
room,
alive.
you know. It's quite awkward.
All
when
right.
Everybody's here, even the very posh-looking lady. And then you all stood outside.
Fine.
hold on, and he like looks in his eyes, make sure he's not,
They're a bit dilated.
Okay. Does he need any?
He's just definitely
immediate
on
medical
something, but
attention?
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't need any
no, he
obvious
doesn't seem
medical
to need
attention.
anything obvious. No, he seems fine. He's got a few bumps and scratches, but he seems all right. He seems in peak health.
That's
Well,
gives him the pass.
that was quite a good little inspection you did there. Is my eyes all right?
It's
Oh, Doc, you can't
we-
just go. Come on.
we can talk sometime about your personal habits, but for now you are in
Bloody hell.
peak health.
Yeah. And she'll go, by the way, this is for you. She'll just hand him the bag of drug money.
He ziplocks it up and puts it on the side. That'll help us.
I think it's
Right.
too much. What? I'm so glad you're all right. What happened?
So difficult story. My ex is in town.
So,
One happy
Your
that I was
ex?
running a gang.
Is
Might
your
have
ex in America?
Your ex is that woman? Are you kidding me, Robbie?
Look,
You're
it was a short
living-
thing. It was very passionate. And
That was you.
what can I say?
Your
It
taste
was,
in women continues to be abysmal.
look, I'm just trying to stumble around until I find the right one.
Is
But
that why she's
unfortunately,
British? Because
I
of
don't
you?
think so. I don't think it's quite like that. I was very classy. I think she's just also a bit,
Did you break
No.
up with her?
yeah. But
Did you
that's not
ghost
good,
her?
he says.
Did you do it cordially, or did you just leave her one day with her heart broken? These things are
Particularly
important.
Well,
Given that this woman possibly, fired
I think
something that took out most of London, can we assume that Robbie is not entirely to blame here?
I
That
yeah, I
maybe
don't think it's
She was a
entirely
little
me to blame here.
unbalanced.
I
No,
think
but
A little
that
unbalanced.
was
there's a
maybe
difference between
one
blowing
thing.
up a building and decimating a quarter of the city. So,
I think this definitely had something to do with her aim, if not
I think
the...
it did. That's what it was. Thank you, Miss Fairchild.
I
Miss
think
Fairchild,
Mr. Carr is trying to alleviate all sense of personal responsibility, and I will not have it.
I don't think it's personal responsibility that would, hell hath no fury as a woman spurned, yes, but
God,
Depends
it's
on
like
the
having a load of
scorning.
aunts in the same place at once. You say
You
his teeth
cannot
hurt.
hold someone
The doctor,
responsible
the doctor,
for the
nah.
feelings of others.
yes, because, when someone breaks up
Feel
with you, not that
family.
it's ever going to happen to me, but if someone breaks up with you, you have to, I don't know, do something.
Blow up a
Not
city?
blow up a city.
Great.
Yeah, see,
I can't
blowing up a
wait
city
until
is...
Mr. Gribble finally leaves, and then I can just go and do that. That'll be fine.
You bleeding
Bloody
Yeah.
hell.
Well,
Wait,
yes, I hope. Soon. As soon as we get on a third date, then we can say that she is.
What
The
do you
doctor
mean?
switches notebooks and starts taking psychological notes on this whole drawing a
Yeah,
diagram.
Robbie seems to
with
be a bit
lines.
jarred. He wasn't ready for this entire situation today. As he kind of looks around, he's right, all right, I get it.
Sorry.
I get it. You're trying to
Miss
blame me for this,
Fairchild is
but I must
definitely
say,
playing mummy and defending him.
yeah, he's like, look, I get it. But what I have to say is, yes, we
Saying
had some
you did
difficult
this is like
troubles.
saying I was the reason York was destroyed, and that's not true.
Yeah, remember it all. Point is, there's a lot of other things going on here. A lot of warring. After Mickey left, we hit a few places. We took some of our parts back. Thing is, they'd moved some of their people into our places, so we took them out. We dealt with it. We got them out. We got our places back. We did stuff by the book, so to speak. Now, she didn't like that. She found out whose gang it was. She wasn't happy. Also, just heard something about a crown, which seems a bit weird because, I mean,
Does
she's
she
not the
have
bloody
it?
queen.
Does she
I
have
don't know.
it?
I think she was looking for it last time. I thought I heard about it anyway. Been looking into it for a while.
Wait.
Back when we were, well,
She back in
Probably
what?
would.
obsessed with it. Obsessed with this thing. This crown.
Doctor, how much time does he have?
Let us check the watch.
An hour and a half, Doctor.
Oh,
Not
we
change
have
at all?
about an hour and a half.
It seems. My theory would be she's found it, or she will find it very soon, and she will know exactly where Mr. Carr is and finish the job.
With the death ray laser thing?
I
If
hope
that's the case,
not.
we should go back up. We should go, like, upper London.
Do you know where she would be, Mr. Carr?
Honestly, at this time of day, I don't even know. And as he says that outside, you hear, Robbie Carr!
Oh, God.
Such,
You do have
I
an hour
think
and a
we
half
found
there.
her.
Yes.
She just puts a finger over her lips like, shh.
And as
Just
Robbie is
kidding.
shushed, and as you hear that, that is where we'll call today.
Oh my.
Got a backhanded American woman. Let's go.
So, got a
What
backhanded
you get
death ray.
for dating
Yeah.
crazy. Good lord.
Well, he's also,
Can relate, but still.
Yeah.
No, so-
Miss Fairchild is judging his romantic prospects so hard.
He's,
Hey,
he's had
there's
he's had
nothing
a hard
wrong
love
with
life, okay?
Americans.
No, nobody will stay with him.
Americans who have a death
He dumped
ray
her.
obsessed with a
He did.
spooky
This one
cow.
was the unfortunate one where he did, which you'll find out why, I'm sure. But anyway,
Yeah.
we'll go around. Let us know what your favorite moment is, and yeah, well, we can find you what you're working on, and we'll start the opposite way from earlier with Miss Fairchild.
All right. My favorite bit was possibly just getting to be a mother-in-law. That was so fun. Actually, no, my favorite bit was definitely the interactions with Lilith being allied by water. That was just fantastic. Watching her try and spin the jury, and then Miss Griffith's righteous. No, what am I saying? We stole a tile. That's the best. That's the best thing that's ever happened. Just like, oh, this thing that's embedded in the floor. I'll take it with me because pet ghost. Just everything about the court was just really intense, and the suspense was really great, and I really, really enjoyed that. So that's definitely my favorite bit. And those lawyers are sneaky. Damn. I'm Shakespeare. You can find me here. I don't stream any other days, but you can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. It's Shakespeare, always the same handle. There's some Miss Fairchild stuff on my TikTok. There will be more after tonight because I put all this on. So yeah, I can't wait for next week.
There's my mute button. And no, I'm super excited to see what you do next. Super excited to see more TikToks from you because they're always fun. And no, it's been lovely to have you on as usual, Shakes. And speaking of lovely to have on, Delilah, the dress was great.
I did enjoy my little changey dress. Very happy. As for my favorite part of this session, oof, that's difficult. Again, as usual, like every bit has been interesting and fun. But I'm just gonna go with our last moment of squabbling over Robbie's choice in woman and how they broke up, as if that's the most important thing. Not that she has a death ray, is the daughter of the American mob, not just a American mob like Mickey, but the lady. Like, if you break up with her, no matter what and how you do it, it's gonna go badly. Like, don't blame the guy this time. Like,
Did it by
normally,
Morse
if some girls like. If some girl's pissed off at you, you know, you slash his tires, not like destroy the half of the city. Yeah. I don't know. Just normal people thoughts. And as for who I am Lauria Lark. It has been nice to be here. I am also on Hollowtail's channel every second Saturday as I yeehaw and become a very angry red-haired woman. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, though if you're really looking for me these days, I am in Eorzea in FF14, enjoying my life of quarantine and gaming. That's me.
Brilliant, and good to have you. And Lilith.
Tesla says hi. This isn't the Promethean Nikola Tesla, but the kitty Tesla. That was super fun. I miss playing Lilith. I love her so much. She is just a ball to play. I had so much fun swaying the jury and just befuddling that poor ex-cop. Everything going on with the Level Society is like, ooh, I want to know. There's so much going on here, and I just, the tension, the intrigue. I don't think we'll ever fully know. Also wonderful bits. Anything that Francis says or does and just him existing is the best. He is my big dumb boy with hearts. Every time I reference him in my journals, big dumb boy, hearts, because he's just too lovable. And Miss Fairchild, like, I don't know if Shakes knows anything or if I said anything at some point, but saying you could be married, a huge question mark in her backstory that she might be slightly triggered now. So yeah, congratulations. That's gonna be fun.
I think congratulations are in order for Lilith more than.
Yes, well, maybe she's not sure. There's no paperwork. Well, there was, but she can't read, so it's fine. You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I play in NGM a lot of tabletop RPGs. You can find me here on Encounter Roleplay every Tuesday for Vampire and here for Unhallowed. My own channel, we are going to be having our once-a-month Teenagers from Outer Space, in addition to our 2 weekly games, this Saturday morning at, I believe, 9:30 Eastern. So check that out. It's basically Saturday morning cartoons, tons of 80s references, and we're going to have our first guest. It is an amazing game by Artelsarian Games. Check it out. We have a blast. I've laughed so hard I've cried. And at 8 a.m. in the morning, that's a challenge. So it's good.
Very good, very good. And Tilly Griffiths.
Hi. Favorite moment. Dual favorite moments. Okay. One, Doctor confronting with Mr. Lovell, and having that conversation, and Adam coming up again. Oh my god. That was cool. That was peak drama moment. Other moment, and I will be selfish. My bonding with Commander Obelisk was very fun, and I love him. And if it goes wrong with Mr. Grimoire, I will keep my brick wall. I am having a balls. My house needs more bricks. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. He calls me a very smart detective. That's all she wants.
Oh,
He recognises that. That's all she needs. That's fine.
Well,
Everyone
I
else
see use a
is-
spoon for soup to the best detective.
Yeah. It's the best detective. That's all she needs.
All this time. It was just falling through.
It doesn't matter that the dumbest man on the planet is calling her the best detective. It's still very nice.
He's the most
As for where you can
determined.
find me, you can find me on Twitter, occasionally posting out quarantine tweets and Animal Crossing related things at the minute, and trying to work on my very difficult dissertation, considering I have no project now because everything's closed down. So yeah, that's me.
And last, but certainly not least, Greybeard. Dr. Verruckt.
Greybeard's Tavern. Check out my Twitter for my schedule and all that fun stuff. My seasons are winding down, so until I get some new shows starting up, where I'll be here and every other Friday on Damn It Varies channel, and every other Sunday I'll be over on G Game Nights and on my own channel on Sunday mornings, where I get to play with all my toys, and I love that. But check that out through my Twitter schedule. My favorite moment was, because tonight was a roller coaster. I sat a lot of times just envisioning tonight, because it was just too much and it went so fast. That's why I was like, do we still have an hour? I think my favorite bit was when we got to Lower London, and Tilly was like, I pick up Gabriel and put him in my purse because someone's gonna eat him. It was just a little snippet that like kind of snuck through the cracks, but I wanted to give it some props. Otherwise, the stealing of the tile was amazing. The the ghosts, I really love the way that's expanding Lady Delilah. It's fantastic. Yeah, so I mean, there was just every episode's like that. It's so much. I do want to point out that Francis is big, kind, and pliable, and that's like all Tilly wants out of a prospective mate. So that was not in the show.
Put away. Put away
great...
your notebook, Doctor. I don't have a type. I literally don't have a type. She doesn't have a type. She's dating a very strange person right now.
Lilith approves.
And
I also approve the ship has sailed.
I really like the.
I want cake.
I like the tie-ins. I really enjoy your tie-ins with the other game and Lilith and everything. It's fabulous and fantastic storytelling. So I'm glad to be here every week.
Brilliant. And so it's always good to have you all here. Thank you so much for watching. And our vote today came through, and I believe it was Lilith who gained corruption today.
I did sway a
they
whole
were
jury. It's probably not the first
unanimously.
time.
They were unanimously the vote, it seems. And yes,
More
so
hedonism.
more hedonism for you.
Boom.
I'm sure that won't go wrong. So,
No,
but
never.
yeah, I'm a Holotale. Thank you all for watching. And I was the narrator for tonight. I was the game master for tonight. It's always a pleasure to run this game for all of you wonderful people. Thank you for coming and watching us. Thank you for coming along for the ride, and your wonderful comments in the chat. And of course, for the donation of the crits. Those were absolutely lovely. Thank you so much, Hippie, for that. And yeah, aside from that, you will find me back here at the same time next week for the same game. We've got a few more sessions left to go. We'll be rounding up towards a finale soon. We've got this to do. You've got the last item. You've got, well, everything to do with Archie to deal with. It's going to be a ride for the next session. So get ready for a lot to happen at once. But I'm a Hollowtail. You'll find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Hollowtail, where I do various tabletop RPG guides. I do suggestions of systems. I also do a really fun podcast, which is a 20 minutes to half an hour long sessions of little episodes focused on storytelling and roleplay. It's almost an audio drama fueled by RPGs, which features the wonderful Level of Lindy, Pruitt from WebDM, and the brilliant Little Cup of Joe, Jess. They all play wonderful characters in this dark fantasy world that I've been working on for roughly around 10 years now, and go check it out. It's fun. Let me know what you think of it if you do. But until then, you've all been wonderful. Thank you so much for playing. I'm going to throw you over to a song wonderfully made for our game, the brilliant Noir Enigma, and we will see you next time. So, yeah, until then, all the best to all of you out there, and good night.
Unhallowed, unhallowed. Story of some friends investigating mysterious happenings in Metropolis, and the frights and the spooks don't stop, and they gotta deal with Chicken Boy and Great God while protecting all the family and friends, new enemies and old, keep attacking them, and everything's fighting for their attention. And there's a deity called the Great Bach that I mentioned. Unhallowed, unhallowed.